Okay. Alright. Then maybe we can start the week 1 and week 2. Okay. Can I have a volunteer for that? Anybody wants to uh, share what they actually studied in week 1 and week 2? Ada siapa-siapa yang boleh share?
Doktor, saya nak try.
Okay. Boleh.
Okay, so week 1, 18 hari bulan November.
Okay.
Okay, kita start dengan doktor bagi tips untuk answer question.
Huh?
Okay, so part of yang kita akan tulis lah. Kita punya case study tu. So untuk write an essay, kita kena ada introduction.
Okay.
And then kita cover dengan background, ada problem statement.
Okay.
And then kita ada finding and analysis. Kita ada recommendation and also conclusion.
Okay.
Okay, and then doktor explain semua tu. Kita ada touch on high performance system.
Okay. Yang tadi tu Nadia, Nashima, the one I told you yang benda tu jangan letak dalam apa you study.
Yang ni yang kita bincang sebab saya tulis. So
Okay. Itu jangan tulis dalam. You only have about 500 words. So what I want is the topic dalam HR yang kita cover. In the first week tu. That is the one that you should be covering. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, sorry sebab saya tulis tu saya.
Okay, no problem.
And then kita masuk high performance system. Jadi cerita pasal policy and enforcement. Okay, and then kita ada cerita pasal, sekejap, tulisan saya ni cantik sangat. Kita ada line of sight. Okay, top to bottom ataupun bottom to top lah.
Okay.
And then kita ada cerita pasal assessment, evaluation, synthesis and justification. Okay, and then kita bincang pula pasal fishbone Ishikawa. Daripada problem issue, kita ada husband and wife tu, who, what, how, when, why. And then kita ada masuk HR audits.
Okay,
daripada HR audits tu, kita belajar macam mana nak answer human resource punya question, people, process and also technology.
Okay.
So untuk people, apa effect dekat people tu, what are the issues, goals, and then process, kita bincang pasal SOP, delegation of authorities, and technology kita fokus on system, IT system ataupun people punya lah.
Okay.
And then kita ada bincang pasal SWOT analysis. For strength, weaknesses, opportunity and
That's okay.
And then doktor ajar tentang using keywords.
Using keywords to actually look at, if you want to look into a particular issue and then you nak cari dalam research, you look into the keywords to see whether those documents are relevant atau tidak. Kalau tidak, you baca semua dokumen tu, you akan buang masa.
Betul. And then kita nak filter, and then contohnya kalau kita nak cari labor intensive, kita kena cari keyword labor intensive lah. So digital refer to system. Kita ada physical, digital and compensation for recruitment. Itu saja untuk minggu pertama.
Okay. Now, let me ask a question. Okay. Now, you have about 500 words to write. Okay. Now, dia punya topic is about e-portfolio. Okay. Now, you need to somehow make sense of what you have actually, apa yang you cakap tadi tu untuk minggu pertama, minus yang semua yang kena ada introduction tu semua, itu tolak tepi. Itu bukan, it's how you going to answer. You use your your process to answer. Itu tak perlu jawab dalam ni. Tapi what I want is that yang tadi you cover baru minggu pertama. So minggu kedua ada satu lagi. Now you got to combine the ideas in minggu pertama Dan minggu kedua untuk jadi dalam 500 patah perkataan saja. Have you got any idea how long is 500 patah perkataan? Have you got any idea? Kalau you type,
Sikit.
how many pages is that? 500 patah perkataan. Berapa pages agak-agak?
1 page ke?
One page lebih sikit je. Tak banyak pun sebenarnya.
Mhm.
So, you must, this is why you, yang ini kita tak nak orang tulis panjang-panjang. Now, if you look at your explanation just now, it looks like there's a lot of things that needs to be written. Itu baru
Yeah.
minggu pertama.
Mhm.
Belum kita masuk minggu kedua lagi.
Betul.
Now, you need to make sense of what we have discussed dalam yang topik yang area-area bagi tahu tadi, and you need to actually how they are interconnected as such that you can explain those things dalam 500 patah perkataan saja. So seandainya tadi kita guna andaian yang tadi first week tu, it is almost 250 words saja sebenarnya. Sebab the second week you need to have another 250 lagi. So actually the assignment is not, it is going to be very tough if you don't understand. If you cannot understand the relationship between the ideas that we talk. But you cannot explain dalam 205 perkataan 10 different ideas tu. Tak boleh. So that's why I said tadi, I tanya, that's why we only use this week to actually discuss what were the things that we actually talk about in the first week. Dia banyak benda, tapi apa dia punya main gist? Okay, tadi Hashima dah try. Boleh tak I get somebody else to see whether how can you actually blend the ideas together? Yang tadi daripada first week. Johannes, do you want to try?
First week Prof.
Yeah.
Saya macam ingat yang second week sikit, yang first week tu macam tak berapa ingat sangat. Yang second week tu is about the selection process, the interview process. How do we make our interview question reliable and valid, and also how do we use referencing, what do you call that, referencing to how important is that in the selection process.
Okay.
Lagi saya rasa macam second week tu kita banyak discuss pasal selection of candidates lah. How do we want to get a good candidate on the second week. The first week tu macam yang tadi tu lah, macam the strategic management punya planning kan.
I understand. Tapi apa soalan saya tadi ialah macam mana you nak okay, now what you have done is that you have listed down the topic, the headers lah lebih kurang that point tu. Tapi sekarang ni kalau kita nak combinekan the week 1 and week 2, macam mana kita nak buat dalam bentuk 500 patah perkataan? This is why that's actually my question. How are you going to tackle? What is the main theme in chapter in week 1? Actually, that is what you need to cover. Yang lain-lain tu dia jadi macam how you use the ideas yang kita discuss tu untuk support the main theme dalam. Apa sebenarnya the main theme dalam week 1?
Satu, discuss pasal the difference between managers and do the right thing, do the things right tu.
Okay.
For the company punya strategic punya management.
Okay. Alright. So that is one of the things that kita mention. Okay. Yes. Now, I think you still don't get the idea. Okay.
No.
Now, sebenarnya dalam minggu pertama tu, we talk a lot about performance management. Dalam performance management, kita kena identify benda-benda seperti KPI, assessment, evaluation, and then management, like you mentioned, leadership, managers dan sebagainya. Tetapi the whole idea is centered around the concept of performance management.
Okay.
So,
So the concept tu lah.
jadi based on the concept ni, you kena kembangkan yang lain-lain tu kita discuss tu, somehow you have to use the idea untuk masukkan dalam performance management. Bukan kata macam ni. Okay, since you have 500 words to do, the first sentence is about performance management. Second sentence is about apa tu? KPI. Third sentence is about leadership. Bukan. That's not what I wanted. You kena faham daripada minggu pertama tu apa yang the main idea. That's why this is how I actually test on your understanding. Dalam kita punya discussion ni semua, kita mengupas ataupun kita elaborate certain ideas, but at the end of the day, you must see how these ideas are interconnected. That is the task that you need to do. Itu minggu pertama. And then minggu kedua. Now, when you are asked to combine week 1 and week 2, that means the week 1 and week 2 have something that are connected. So, dia tenaklah jadi macam ni. Nanti bila you tulis 500 patah perkataan, apa yang you buat adalah you letak 250 sebagai first paragraph and then 250 lagi second paragraph untuk second week. That's not what I want. What I want is that you try to make sense of what we covered in week 1 and then what we covered in week 2 and then how these ideas are interconnected. Boleh faham? Is that clear?
Okay.
That's why the challenge is actually to write 500 words. 500 words tu ialah what exactly the main theme in week 1 and week 2, how are they interrelated. Menggunakan discussion yang kita buat dalam week 1 and week 2. So that is where I actually test on you being able to identify what is the main theme. Yang lain-lain tu actually supporting ideas behind the main theme. Okay. Right.
Saya try, Dok, boleh saya try?
Boleh, cuba.
Macam dalam week 1 tu,
Yeah.
kita nampak macam overview of HR function in terms of management process and how HR contributes to the organization punya management. I would probably link it to week 2 in terms of performance management, that performance management starts with first getting the right selection process of the human resource personnel lah, that we're looking for. It starts there lah. You have to get things right from the beginning, the right kind of person. And how do you go about getting the right kind of candidate and all the biases and all the systems that we use for selection? Without which there's no manpower, there's nothing to manage, kan?
Correct. Jadi dalam actually what you said tadi tu Cik Rosel memang betul. Because dalam 500 perkataan you realize it's so short sebenarnya. Nak cover 6 jamnya kerja dalam masa 500 patah perkataan. Sebenarnya task tu memang susah sebenarnya. Bukan senang. That's why it requires a good understanding. Dalam minggu pertama sebenarnya apa yang kita cakap ialah in order kita bagi tahu dalam minggu pertama actually HR is a very important function. HR people needs to sit together with the strategic planning because what is important is the vision, mission dan sebagainya. When you have all those vision, mission dan sebagainya, then you can plan for the right people who are aspired to achieve those things. You boleh take the skill set and then all these things must be measured using the performance management. Performance management ni macam mana mekanisme dia? Mekanisme dia menggunakan KPI. So KPI ni must be measurable. In order to manage, you must be able to measure. Barulah you tahu dia ada variance analysis dia, whether you are achieving the targets ke you're not achieving the targets. Okay? So all these things sebenarnya minggu pertama dan minggu kedua, they are related around that particular theme sebenarnya. What I don't want is that people who look into it and then try to put all the things yang kita discuss dalam dia itu dalam 500 patah perkataan. Memang tak akan dapat buat. 500 perkataan ni so short sebenarnya. That's why you need to understand what happened in week 1 and what happened in week 2. Dia jadi macam summary. Bukanlah summary as in summary ringkaskan 6 jam jadi 500, bukan tapi the team tu, macam mana the team can be interconnected between those 2 weeks. Okay? Ada lagi soalan nak tanya? Ataupun siapa-siapa lagi nak try? Tia, macam mana Tia? Okay tak? Do you want to try?
Yeah, Doctor.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to try? Siapa nak tadi? Nadia.
Okay,
Okay.
Doctor. For the first week, there is a questions from doctor to us. What is the importance of the human capital? So from there, we touch about the human capital development with the objective, and then we go to the what is the HR management process, and then we go to the manpower planning, and then what is the importance of HRM to the managers, to the organization. So I do believe that we can summarize all these things lah, the importance of the function of human resource, the human capital here. And then for the second week, maybe we can align, because in the second week we are discussing about the talent management. What is what is the process for the talent management, and then it involve of the training, and then manpower planning, succession planning. So what are the strategies involved? So maybe we can combine all this to become one summary.
Okay, so you can see that what is important ialah for you to understand what happened. So I think maybe what is also good is that maybe for some of you guys, maybe you need to discuss with your friends. And I actually encourage you guys to discuss sebelum you tulis. Because what I don't, tapi you jangan pula tiru pula waktu, cuma you discuss. Okay, week 1 ni apa benda yang kita discuss? Macam mana kita nak strategizekan dia dalam bentuk summary yang kita boleh comprehend the whole thing yang kita discuss week 1, and macam mana kita nak relate week 1 tu dengan week 2 together juga. Jangan jadi nampak macam dia ada a separation between week 1 dengan week 2. Jangan pula tadi awak gunakan 250 patah perkataan untuk week 1 and then 250 patah perkataan untuk week 2. Memang that's not the whole idea. Whole idea is to understand the topic yang kita cover dalam week 1 and also week 2. Kalau I can summarize it, I think 1 is always about strategy dalam HR tu, and then it's about getting the right people, and then how these right people ni can then be measured supaya in order to achieve whatever vision dan mission sebagainya, dia mesti ada performance management. Because by having this performance management ni, then only we can be sure whether lah, I mean certain lah, better way of managing, macam mana KPI tu boleh di-achieve. Okay, is that clear? Okay tak Cik Rozian? Is it clear?
Yes, Doc.
Boleh Okay.
Yeah.
Ada siapa-siapa lagi nak tanya? Ataupun tak berapa clear pasal tadi tu? Okay, alright.
Doktor.
Yes, Karun.
So means kita punya essay ni nanti mostly kebanyakannya akan combine with every week punya kita punya study ni lah.
Essay yang mana ni? Essay yang ni lah, yang assignment ni lah kan? Ya. Maknanya the week 1 dengan week 2 tu you combine. Kita tengok dalam my WhatsApp tu saya katakan. Week 1 dengan week 2 tu slot 1. Week 3 dengan week 4 another slot. Week 5 and week 6 is another slot. Okay. Kan? Nampak tak? You tengok tak saya punya WhatsApp tadi tu?
Nampak.
So dia punya aturan tu kena ikut macam tu. Dia ada introduction, dia ada week 1, week 2. Lepas tu dia di week 1, week 2 tu is under one header. Lepas tu week 3, week 4 is under one header. Lepas tu week 5, week 6 under one header. Lepas tu kita ada module critics. Okay? Okay, Carol.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Okay, what else did we cover dalam week 2? Syaril, do you want to try, Syaril? Tak apa, nanti kita discuss pasal modul kritik tu later. Yang modul kritik tu sebenarnya the whole thing yang kita cover. What do you think about HR? How HR punya issues can be mitigated? What are the challenges? Ini semua you boleh cerita dalam modul kritik. Yes, Syaril?
Yeah, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you better.
Oh,
Tadi
yeah.
tak apa dengar.
Okay. Yeah.
Week 2, apa cerita week 2?
Week 2,
Yeah.
it's more on talent acquisition.
Okay.
Okay. We talk about what is talent, the skills and the competency,
Okay.
and then how you manage talents.
Okay.
And then we have we call evaluation and synthesis. We have assertion, evaluation, and synthesis. How do they play the role in determining talents? Do we need training to lead good talents, to pick up good talents, I mean, through management and development? What type of training is suitable for the what do you call to develop talents?
Okay, cuma yang benda-benda ni semua all dia punya steps dia, okay? Tapi masa you nak tulis nanti jangan tulis macam ni tau. Syaril, kalau you tulis macam ni nanti tak cukup, 250 tak cukup ataupun 500 pun tak cukup. Okay?
I'm giving the summary only.
So
okay.
what you dalam ni you should discuss about how you use that idea for talent development dan sebagainya. Ini termasuklah recruitment, termasuklah benda-benda ni lah. Jadi it's nice bila dah habis itu terus masuk minggu ketiga dan minggu keempat. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Alright.
We also did mention about HR audits in second week.
Okay. Right. I think all those things is just ideas to support the selection of talents dan sebagainya. Okay. Hilmi, do you want to try the third week? What we covered in the third week?
Kalau tengok note saya ni sikit je tau, tapi masa introduction tu ada tanya how do we know that we hire the right talent, and then we discuss the point.
Okay. So what is the main theme dalam the week 3 tu? I think for about 1 jam lebih kita discuss about what is the crucial thing in the selection of talent kan? Right tak, Henry? Okay. Apa benda yang you faham daripada discussion?
That means saya tak boleh nak elaborate lah, Doktor, sebab sekarang ni tak boleh nak fikir sikit.
Okay, alright, right. Okay, never mind. Maybe we can ask Hinze. Boleh try tak the week 3 tu apa dia?
Macam Helmi juga cakap, Doktor, it's about talent. But right now, sebab I pun duk tengok the slides.
Okay.
I miss some. Sorry, Doktor, I miss some my notes. Sebenarnya I duk cari notes I.
Actually, the slides tu is just a guideline saja. The slides tu dia tidak menjawab kita punya discussion dalam tu, dia cuma guidelines untuk kita refer tu. Dalam week 3 tu sebenarnya we discuss a bit about the selections of questions. Question, macam mana kita tahu questions tu betul ke tak betul. So the thing that I mentioned is that first kali kita kena check the validity of the questions. Then ni kan kita banyak buat dalam discussion kita tu, if you ask the wrong questions, then you get the wrong people. Maknanya macam mana kita nak tahu question tu betul? So dia mesti ada validity test. In order to check the validity test, kita kena buat apa tu pilot testing. Okay. So how do I start preparing the questions? Kan kita kata selalunya dalam assessment, usually do we have a set of questions to ask the candidate? Mungkin kalau the first time around, bila kita nak buat assessment, kita nak tanya semua orang same question. Lepas tu dia bagi interview, are we going to ask them the same questions or we ask them a different questions, katakan. Then one of some of your colleagues say, takkan kita nak tanya soalan lain-lain. Kalau kita tanya soalan lain-lain, it is not going to be fair. Some people get easy questions, some people get tough questions. I think dalam case ni Francis ada mention, oh maybe what we can do is that we have a guided questions, and then based on that we can have a little bit of subjectivity dalam kita punya guided questions. The question is that in the first place, what questions should you ask before you start making it subjective? Kita kena ada validity in identifying the right question. So there is a technique for that. And I remember asking you, why don't you go and check macam mana kita nak tahu the validity of questions. Lepas tu I talk about compound alpha dan sebagainya. Okay. So bila you nak jawab untuk minggu ketiga, then the whole discussion kita pasal minggu ketiga tu, it's all about identifying the right candidate. Okay. So bila you nak identify the right candidate, that means your selection must be good. Question here is that one part of the selection is making sure that the questions you ask to are valid, so that you get the right response, and based on that response, hopefully you get the right candidate. If you also recall, dalam discussion kita, some people will, some of your friends will say that, ya biasalah dalam interview people tend to do well. And then after the interview dan sebagainya, when they come to work, then only you see their true performance. They may not be as what they say. Ya betul. Kita pun memang cakap that is what we do. Then we talk about risk assessment. So the whole process is actually to mitigate the risk. So if you ask the wrong questions, then chances are apa you tanya soalan yang salah ni. Jadi the center about the validity of the questions. Okay, and also this is a way to mitigate the risk of not getting the right candidate. Then you can talk about the element of subjectivity in the questions. I did mention dalam kelas tu, I kata the more subjective the questions, the more subjective the questions, that means you punya variable tu akan jadi lagi susah lah. That's why when we do a particular when we try to achieve a particular target, try to be as objective as possible. So in this perspective, question yang you tanya tu, try to be less subjective. More subjective your questions are, you will get more different answers. Variance of answers tu jadi lagi besar. Then it will be very difficult for you to make good assessment. Okay? Is that clear?
Ya, Doktor, thank you. Putih tadi cakap pasal structured, unstructured question tu. Yes.
Structured dengan unstructured questions, kan?
And then the percentage, Doctor, 95 and 5%, right?
So all these things is the idea kita discuss. Tapi you kena pandai olahkan lah. The idea is centered around validity of the questions. Okay? Boleh?
Boleh, Dok.
Okay, ada apa-apa lagi soalan nak tanya?
Betul, yang kita week 3 tu ada study tentang can we merge two company.
Okay.
Yang tu pun boleh masukkan dalam.
Saya tak berapa dengar sangat lah Khairul. Mungkin jauh daripada mic.
Untuk week 3 last time. Kita ada study tentang can we merge two company.
Okay. Lagi?
Pun boleh termasuk dalam assessment tu nanti ke?
Boleh tak you explain lagi? Kadang-kadang the things yang kita discuss tu is just examples. Can you remind me apa kita discuss pasal merger and acquisition tu?
Dia tentang risk analysis and TNC.
Oh, okay. I think I understand. Dia sebenarnya, I think that one, I think I use that as an example saja. Tapi the main theme yang sebenarnya dalam tu it's more on the validity of the question sebenarnya. Dalam case tu, actually yang minggu ketiga tu, I wanted yang you discuss tu sebenarnya, I wanted to set up kan kita punya momentum untuk masuk ke minggu keempat di mana I actually gave you the case study tu. Yang case study tu kan.
Okay, okay.
Itu sebenarnya yang you gunakan tadi tu example. Actually I use that as an example merger and acquisition tu. Okay, ada lagi tak yang kita cuba cover? Minggu ketiga.
Dok, sorry dok. Tadi I just nak recall balik. Topik tu is just about talent acquisition, about talent lah kan, Doktor?
Yes.
Just
Yang
about
tadi
talent,
yang kita it's all about talents, it's about outsourcing kan.
Outsourcing.
Macam mana benda tu lah dia. Dia sebenarnya actually week 1 dengan week 2 ni is very clear. Sebenarnya it's all about setting the right vision, and then when you get the right visions, your job is to get the right people. How are you going to get the right people? Outsourcing ke ataupun you buat sendiri ke? And then how are they going to be measured? Menggunakan performance management, ada KPI dan sebagainya. Itulah what week 1 and week 2 is all about. Okay? Right?
Training bukan week 3 ke doktor?
Apa dia?
Kita banyak touch pasal training masa tu. Week 3 kan?
Training is also one of the things yang kita cover.
Lama masa tu. Bukan week 3 ke?
Week 3 sebenarnya validity.
Validity
Test tu.
Okay.
Okay. Alright. Next, apa lagi kita cover? Dalam week 4 apa kita cover? Atia, do you want to try?
Week 4 pasal David Smith kan?
Week 4 saya bagi tu. Actually last week we talk about week yang pasal David tu week 5 sebenarnya.
Week 4 kita ada cakap pasal teori kan doktor?
Teori yang mana?
Teori week 4.
Teori apa?
Apa yang kita faham mengenai teori.
Itu general.
Itu general.
Teori itu is just an idea. Dia bukan kita cover pasal teori. I just want to tell you what theory is. Theory is when you want to set up a theory, that means 95% of the things you tested tu, dia punya outcome is the same, is kata A. Then that becomes a theory. Itu sebenarnya saya bagi contoh saja, tapi itu bukan benda yang kita cover. Okay. And anybody else want to try? Sister Anira, do you want to try?
Ya Prof. Kalau tak silap macam kita discuss about the mechanism selection the right candidate tu. Betul ke? Salah.
The right candidate tu earlier than that lah.
Tu mechanism tu sebelum tu
Tu sebelum tu. Okay, maybe we can try siapa ni? Nadia, do you want to try? Ada. Atau Yohanis, do you want to try Yohanis?
Week berapa Prof tadi? Week 3 Week 4. Week 4 saya tak jumpa dah Prof. Sorry.
Okay.
Doktor saya cuba.
Okay, cuba. Siapa nak cuba tu?
Carol.
Carol.
Week 4 ni 9 Disember. Kita ada sentuh sedikit pasal case study David. How to evaluating and then how to
I think yang case study David tu I mentioned towards the end kan?
Yeah, kita just bersulam-sulam je lah masa tu.
Itu sebenarnya nak I wanted you guys to have a look at it.
Validity question
Yeah.
and create structure question,
Okay.
unstructured question for new candidate,
Aha.
validity test question.
Itu week 3 tu. Itu week 3 tak silap saya. Okay. Okay, lagi.
Enforcement interview about why should we do cross check, leadership risk mitigation,
Yeah.
pilot test,
Okay.
psychometric test.
Yeah.
Then
So basically sebenarnya week 3 dengan week 4 ni it's actually about selection of the candidate, right? Making sure that you have the right mechanism about how you need to find the right candidate. The first week dengan second week is to identify the direction of the organization, kan? Then the second week, the bigger picture sebenarnya the first week is about the strategy. How HR actually plays a very big role in ensuring the organization achieve its strategy. Yang lain-lain itu semua elemen yang boleh dimasukkan dalam tu. Week 3 and week 4 is about the right candidate, selection of the right candidate. So itu yang you ada outsourcing, you ada interview, validity test dan sebagainya. Itu adalah week 3 dengan week 4. Okay? And then kita masuk week 5. Apa kita cerita dalam week 5? Yeah, do you want to try? What did we study in week 5?
Hi, Doctor.
Yeah.
Doktor kau mainin ke?
Bukan, saya pada Chia tadi. Chia pick book. Chia, are you there? You want to try?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, what do we study in week 5?
Week 5, I think we study multicultural, how to, how to say, I use one topic to cover oral. We study multicultural management.
Okay. All right. Siti Salma, what you learn in week 5?
Week 5 ni kita discuss pasal case study kan tu?
Yeah. So what did you learn from there? What did you learn from there? Okay. What did you learn from week 5 punya discussion? Boleh try.
Kita belajar macam mana untuk melihat case study tu dari apa yang doktor bagilah daripada introduction. Introduction tu mesti ada 6 sentences saja, satu paragraf. Kemudian background mesti state pasal problem statement.
Okay.
Problem statement problem yang kita nak try untuk solve lah.
Okay.
Dan selepas background tu kita yang ketiga yang finding. Finding apa yang ada di dalam case study tu. Maksudnya dia apa yang kita nampak lah dekat dalam case study tu, apa yang kita cuba, apa masalah yang dalam case study. Dan daripada finding tu kita akan buat analisis ikut kepada finding yang kita ada. Next,
finding ada, and then after that
recommendation. Kita recommend ni kita recommend daripada apa yang analisis yang kita buat. Kemudian recommendation ni mesti ada literature review lah untuk kita support kita punya recommendation.
Dia mestilah
Dan
recommendation ni mestilah something yang bukan kita pilih sendiri-sendiri kan. Dia mesti adalah something that is proven, mungkin best practice ke. So biasanya benda-benda ni akan dijumpa dalam literature review kan. Sebab literature review ni are based on past research done. So that means there must be some clear evidence why this thing is done this way atau dan sebagainya kan. Okay. Right, lagi?
Dan yang last sekali conclusion. Conclusion ni mesti merangkumi daripada awal, daripada introduction sampai kepada recommendation.
Okay. Alright. Okay. So what exactly do we understand by chapter 5? Apa tu week 5? Sebenarnya apa yang saya nak tengok daripada week 5 yang I mentioned last week is that it doesn't matter. It can be any problem statement. Remember? I said you can talk about leadership, you can talk about the apa tu HR, you can talk about selection process, you can talk about multicultural, you can talk about anything. But what I wanted to the point that I wanted to emphasize is that in week 5 ni sebenarnya apa yang kita belajar ialah identification of issues. Right? So when you identify a particular issue, tak kisahlah apa isu dia, then what you need to do is that for any organization relating to HR matters dan sebagainya, it is the problem statement. Dia kena establish a problem statement. In any company, when you establish the problem statement, then you can focus the root causes dia based on the problem statement. Jadi bila tadi kawan ni tanya, should I have 3 points? Should I have 4 points? Should I have 5 points? Should I have 10 points? Dan sebagainya. Sebenarnya yang points itu adalah the root causes. Okay, the root causes ni lah yang menyebabkan you get to the problem statement. The problem statement is the issues. Jadi kalau you boleh ingat balik apa yang you belajar dalam minggu pertama yang saya mention about fishbone analysis, mana I did mention to you guys, can you have a look at how fishbone analysis looks like? Kat kepala dia is an issue. Kat badan dia ada potential root causes. Jadi, kalau kita tengok apa yang kita belajar dekat week 5 ni, bila you identify the problem statement is di kepala, which is the issues. And then, dia punya findings tu are the potential root causes. Itulah sebenarnya the study about fishbone analysis. So based on the issues, which is the problem statement, and then the root causes, potential root causes, which are the findings, then of course, after that, you can do some analysis. Bila you dah buat analysis, then recommendations will come through, connect, okay, inilah jalan macam mana kita nak mitigate risk. Ataupun inilah benda-benda yang patut dibuat supaya company itu can get the whatever targets that they want to achieve dan sebagainya. Tetapi bila you bagi recommendation ni, it must be based on a proven punya solution. Proven solution ni is usually what has been done by previous people because they were researchers and then they publish those papers. And they publish those work based on their research. And finally, you should have some conclusion. So, apa yang saya nak tengok sebenarnya dalam week 5 ni is that any company should actually identify their problems, and these problems becomes what we call a problem statement. So based on the problem statement, then we can focus what are the potential root causes. Based on the potential root causes, some analysis can be done. Then based on the analysis ni, therefore we can have the right suitable recommendations can be provided. Itu yang kita nak buat tu. So in any case study you achieve, you get, this is actually the thought process. So the thought process, you can identify what is actually the problems. Itu yang paling penting. Okay?
Faham, faham.
Ya, people process and technology analysis on the findings there. Ya, betul. Sebenarnya dalam you punya findings tu yang saya mention, kalau you nak fokuskan you punya argument, kenapa 3 atau 4, ialah supaya maybe you want to find one reason on the process, one reasons on the technology, one reasons on the people. Contohnya, so that you can angle the discussion in a holistic manner. Tak adalah sampai 10 isu. Kalau 10 ni terlampau banyak sangat, nanti you tak sempat nak habis tulis. Kan? Then you talk about 3 or 4, but angle it into people, process and technology. Okay? As much as you can come. Okay? Ada apa-apa lagi soalan?
Doktor, saya nak tanya yang minggu
Ya.
lepas doktor cakap untuk case study ni 1,500 words. Tadi doktor cakap 2,500. Sebenarnya kita nak
Saya tak kata 1,500. Saya
yang
tak
last
cakap
week tu doktor
1,500.
cakap
1,500, 300, 3 buku surat that you will never be able to do it. Dia sebenarnya sekitar 2,500, 1,500.
2,500. Okay.
Saya tak cakap 1,500. Dia punya introduction saja tu dah dekat 300 lebih dah. Kalau you buat 6 sentences tu, it's already about 300 over sentences already. 300 over words already. And you remember you will have 6 different headers. So you tak akan dapat buat benda tu dalam 1,500 patah perkataan. Okay? Okay, any other questions?
Okay, Doctor, thanks.
All right. Any other questions on that? Okay. Ada apa-apa lagi nak tanya? Ada apa-apa lagi nak tanya?
Tak ada, Doktor.
Rosehan tanya tadi tu
Oh,
yang modul kritik tu.
Apa dia? Sorry, tak dengar.
Yang Cik Rosehan tanya tadi pasal modul kritik tu actually kita nak discuss berkenaan apa
Okay, kejap. Nanti dulu. Yang setakat ni ada lagi apa-apa nak tanya tak dulu? Setakat ni 1, 2, 3. Ada apa-apa nak tanya lagi tak?
Doctor, sorry, just to
Yeah.
confirm, week
Yeah.
5 is about selection of HR issues ya?
Dia macam dia bukan selection. Dia macam ni. Mana yang nak cakap tadi?
Sorry,
I already explained it
bukan
already.
selection, sorry Doctor, identification of issues.
Identification of issues. I bukan nak you cerita pasal si Devi tu. But the whole idea is a reflection of what I learned. So it should not be you jangan dalam slot week nombor 5 tu you tulis we actually discuss about David. That's not what I wanted. Actually what I wanted is the gist of what we covered in week 5. So the week 5 sebenarnya kita belajar thought process macam mana nak identify particular issue. So in order to identify that particular issue tu, kita boleh menggunakan konsep fishbone analysis. Sebab fishbone analysis divided into 2. One is the issue and the other one is the root causes, potential root causes. So kalau kita tengok, the identification of the issue tu is actually problem statement. Findings are the potential root causes. Kan? So bila dah identify the potential root causes tu, barulah kita boleh buat some analysis. Okay, so in any issues relating to HR matters in any organization, so the focus must be based on the problem statement. So apa-apa benda yang you nak selesaikan masalah, you kena tengok the problem statement. That's why the problem statement must be specific. Kalau you cari satu problem statement yang too general, then you will have a lot of issues. Sebab terlampau banyak sangat problem dalam. So kita nak cari satu isu, apakah dia potential root causes. Okay? Boleh tak? Inzai kan tadi yang tanya tu?
Yes, thank you Doc.
Okay. Alright. Ada lagi apa-apa yang nak tanya? About week 5? Ada? Tak ada?
Ada sikit ada.
Okay.
my note ni, doktor ada pesan that do not innovate. So we should just stay in the case study tu kan. Boleh explain semula tak, Dok? Part yang do not innovate our answer tu.
Bukan did not innovate your answer. Yang saya kata dia ada 6 benda tu. Introduction, background, findings, analysis, recommendation and conclusion. Itu yang saya kata jangan innovate. Jangan pula awak buat 5 saja section ataupun 3 ataupun 7 ataupun 10. So saya kata do not innovate. Maknanya buat 6 tu saja. Make sure that you cover those 60. Tapi jangan pula awak tulis dalam awak punya ni do not innovate.
Okay, thank you, Dok.
Dia sebenarnya apa yang kita cover setiap minggu tu it's an idea. Apa you kena jawab dalam 500 patah perkataan tadi, it's not to apa kita kata apa ni you buat satu summary of apa yang actually 500 perkataan ni yang you kena buat ni it's actually what do you actually understand about what we discuss. Itu dia sebenarnya. And how is that those ideas are interblend. Jangan menggunakan contoh dalam tu. Kalau you start guna contoh dalam tu, memang tak dapatlah 500 patah perkataan. Kan? So you need to understand what was discussed in there and then use you punya kefahaman tu and write in 500 words. That is actually okay. Alright, ada apa-apa lagi nak tanya? About week 5? Ada, tak ada? Ada, tak ada? Tak ada, okay. Alright, kalau dah tak ada, okay. Now, in week 6, which is today, okay, I'm just going to go through a little bit of that and then you get some idea. Dalam week 6 ni, sebenarnya kita cover, sekejap Let me share you the slides. Boleh nampak ke? Can you see the slides? Share screen.
Belum keluar lagi.
Oh, kejap Where is that screen? Mana pergi dia? To all windows. Boleh nampak tak sekarang? Can you see?
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Boleh nampak Okay. Let me see Okay, dalam ni dalam minggu kelima ni dia ada sebenarnya 3 area yang kita cuba cover. The first area is about management. Okay, this is how you manage the career of the people. Right? That means remember that I mentioned in earlier weeks when we talk about staff, we talk about career track, we talk about job families, we talk about macam mana people can actually enhance in organization. Kan? So dalam satu case, I also mentioned that not all positions can get to the very, very top, for example. For example, if you have a statistician, for example, and economist, so you may start at the entry level. Dua-dua ada. Economist ada, statistician. Then maybe you can have manager for statistics, manager for economics. And then you can have up to a certain level lah, you ada for statistics. And then after that, you realize that maybe statistics ni kan dia tak boleh sampai atas-atas lagi. I'm just giving you an example. So what happened to these people? Then they get frustrated, isn't it? Because somehow in certain organization, certain portfolio tu, they just cannot go very far. So what will happen to these people? Adakah mereka akan get demotivated because they can no longer climb higher than that particular position? Ada tak opportunity that they can actually move from one job to another job. Sinilah kita identify what we call job families. So certain jobs tu dia ada persamaan ataupun ada something that are connected. So somehow you can actually migrate to another job, for example. Say for example a statistician, dia mungkin ada kena mengena dengan economics kata. Economists can go further katakan, boleh sampai jadi chief economist for example. Ataupun you may have a marketing department and then orang-orang marketing ni dia buat kerja marketing saja. Tapi dia tak boleh sampaikan level director. Sebab mungkin level director tu we talk about dollar and cent. How much money you can achieve, how good you are in covering so many regions dan sebagainya. So the people in the marketing too, maybe after certain stage, if they want to climb the ladder, then they have to migrate into the sales department. Okay, marketing dengan sales ni are something that people can jump over lah from one discipline to another closely related discipline. Tapi tak boleh lah kata macam orang tu buat IT, tiba-tiba dia buat kata accounting for example, which is maybe totally different. So you got to identify what are the career track that these people can follow and then what are the job families yang sebenarnya are closely connected dan di mana mereka boleh branch out into that areas, new areas. Okay, so we talk about career management. Okay, that means that among other things must follow clear guidelines on what they need to do. Dan maknanya job description dia mesti clear, job specification dia mesti clear. They also know what they have to achieve. That means in terms of dia punya performance contracts dan sebagainya. Okay, so you talk about that lah. What is the importance of career management? Career management is important. Imagine if you join an organization, how many of you actually, when you join an organization, you look into the possibility of climbing in that organization? Ada tak anda antara you all yang sebenarnya bila masuk, can I grow far tak dalam this organization? Ada tak? Or you don't really bother. Janji that position tu gives you a high salary and then later bila you dah masuk, you figure out whether you boleh naik pangkat ke tak boleh. Kalau tak boleh, you just keluar je lah. So, how many of you yang actually look into the prospect of growing in this kind of things? And how many of you actually does not really bother about that? Ada tak? Did somebody give a comment?
Just nak share, Doktor.
Boleh, share.
Dulu masa entry level, I have this mindset lah. Memang bila kita masuk or join that company tu, kita memang rasa we need to jump. I mean, dari path tu, how long can you promise us? How long can you retain us? Okay. And if there is no opportunity to grow anymore, it's time to jump lah. Sebab dulu orang ada macam prinsip dia kata after 2 years or 3 years, you should jump. So my friend ada yang in their 30s tu dah 7 job dah dia jump. So memang dia punya position tu orang kata dah sampai VP lah walaupun dia muda lagi. Bila dah masuk kepada umur yang dah senior level ni, kita dah mula nak settle down, sama ada kita dah dapat jam ataupun tak, tapi kita nak tengok kepada okay, aku buat kerja, aku tak buat kerja, aku masih lagi dapat gaji macam ni. So kalau kita jam pun memang kita nak tengok gaji je lah sekarang ni. Ini just sharing je lah among my circle.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that if you were to join government organisation, you know that it's a bureaucratic organisation kan, di mana this kind of biasanya it's very clear. Dia ada level 41, 44, 48, 52, 54, lepas tu jusasi dan sebagainya. So you can actually see you punya career progress kalau you duduk dalam government. That's why people stay in the government for a long time, because there is a proper career plan for that, right? Daripada hari pertama dia masuk, melainkan kalau dia tidak they do not start as an executive level, then dia mungkin mati at a certain level pula. Okay, if you join private organization, macam you just mentioned just now, right? Sometimes when we join in a private organization, we look at how much they give. don't really look at how far can I grow into this company. Kadang-kadang private organisation ni, the tricky part is that, especially if if they are a new setup ataupun dia a single entity dan sebagainya, kita tak dapat tengok the best practices and so on. Kalau dia macam MNCs have been around for a long time, then you probably have a good idea why people stay there for a long time or why people don't stay there for a long time, for example. You can tell, because you can see that, this organization, they have a proper career because they have executive, they have manager, they have assistant manager, assistant director, dan sebagainya lah. You can see in one discipline ada banyak level. So you can see that people can actually climb in this kind of organization. Tapi ada certain organization pula, you tengok, ada sales manager, lepas tu dia mati kat situ je. And then after that, ada pula certain department, ada up to a certain director. So from what you see over there, you will see that if I have expertise in sales, for example, I can only reach to certain level saja. And after that, ada. I tak nampak pun dia ada sales director ke, or maybe if I reach to a certain level, maybe they create that post. Tapi maknanya the career plan is not so clear. Career management tu not so clear in that organization. Is it clear to you? Clear tak?
Clear tak?
Was it clear? Okay. Atira? Okay ke? Umur Atira? Ya.
Okay, doktor.
Is
Faham.
it clear to you? Boleh faham, Okay. Itu yang kita nak cover dekat the first stage of our work in week 6 sebenarnya. So itu adalah macam mana organization they want to create a career track, so they have to make it very clear. So seperti yang saya juga kata in week 1, for example, is that bila we talk about management versus leaders, we actually talk about different kata kerja. Remember, managers, they do the things. Dia yang tukang buat. Leaders do the right thing. Dia akan fikir apa benda yang baik yang dia kena buat. Managers do things right. That means kalau buat macam ni, I kena buat macam ni. Get it done correctly. So kata kerja dia berbeza. Two different kata kerja. Therefore, when you try to create a career management, you must understand the kata kerja yang patut digunakan. That means if you talk about executive, they are actually doers. When you talk about managers, they are actually managing the doers. And then when you have a director, they can do directing. So you must have different KPIs for different people. You cannot have a director actually doing. So kalau director is doing a particular job, that means you are overpaying this person. So barulah kita nampak career track dia. Okay, but anyway, certain position dia confirm tak boleh naik sampai atas. For many reasons. One of the reasons is because that portfolio tu mungkin you would consider it to be very, very supporting. Rather than the main roles in that organization. That's why dia tak boleh naik sampai atas. Itu satu. Kedua, certain jobs are considered to be labor intensive. And therefore, kalau dia labor intensive, dia mungkin sampai to certain levels. Certain jobs are considered where you need to do a lot of thinking, for example. So they might want to pay you more, for example. Okay? Is that clear? Okay. Right? Nadia, okay tak Nadia? Are you following the discussion?
Ya, doktor.
Okay. So dalam earlier slides ni, bila kita dah ada career development, career management, and then of course from time to time we need to mentor the people. People need to be encouraged. Macam tadi tu our friend was saying, if you are promised that there is a career track dan sebagainya, people like to see. So they can say, actually there are positions available. Even though there are people out there, but I know these positions are available in position. Therefore, I might be able to climb. For example, itu that must be something that they aspire lah. Kedua, for you to climb up the ladder, sometimes you need trainings. Kita cover trainings. Dalam minggu kedua kita cover trainings. Okay, and therefore sometimes you also need what we call mentorship. Because when you climb up the ladder, kata kerja dia berbeza. From doer become managing. So sometimes you might be a very good doer, very efficient. So the organization wants to reward you. Okay. Tapi bila they reward you because you are so good in doing, sekarang ni when they reward you, they're gonna give you a role as a manager. So they cannot assume because you are a good doer, you can also become a good manager. So dalam case ni, what they need to do is that they need to send you for training. Sometimes they send you for mentorship, and so that you acquire a different skill set. You cannot be doing the same thing that you have done before. Now I pay you more because you're so good in the past. Therefore, you should carry on doing the same thing. Okay, because they have different skill set. Okay, is that clear? Clear tak?
Okay, doctor.
Okay, right. So that is what we cover. Coaching, mentoring ni dan sebagainya. You can read by yourself lah. What are the mechanism that you can do? You also need to explain why career development can improve employee engagement. So career development ni very important. Sebab kalau you don't talk about it or you don't demonstrate to your employees that there are career tracks in their organizations, then they might not get inspired lah because dia rasa dia tak ada future dalam organization. So dia ada position tu saja. That's why people leave the organization because they cannot see how they can climb in their organization. They cannot see how they can progress. For the time being, okay, they learn, they get the salary. After that, they just move on. Kan? Because they cannot get better salary. Okay? Right. Then, these are also macam mana managers should engage in apa tu lah with the employees on how to give the idea about career tracks. You boleh baca sendirilah dalam tu. Okay. Okay, ni. Explain the main decision employers should address in reaching promotion and other employee life cycle career decision. Okay. So sometimes in a career progress ni, you need to explain to people. Macam mana diorang ni, for example, naik pangkat ataupun tak naik pangkat. Now, I mentioned to you earlier, when you want to promote somebody, then you must have at the back of your mind, you want to promote somebody and that person must acquire new skill. Ini penting. Ini bukan sebab you just reward them because they're so good in whatever they're doing. And then therefore you just give. Itu yang banyak jadi in some organization. You have a directors, but the way they behave is just like a doer. Dia jugalah yang tukang buat dan sebagainya. Because that's what they're actually very good at. But they're not very good at becoming a leader. They're very good at becoming a doer. So some reason you just keep on promoting them. Because they're so good every year. They are the one who yang tukang jadi tukang buat kerja tu lah. And therefore you keep on rewarding them. Sampailah dia jadi director. So that should not be the case. So this is what you can talk about. You can go through and learn about how you actually convince your employees and how they can actually get motivated and they can enhance themselves in the current job that they are in lah.
Question doktor.
Yeah.
Boleh ke diterbalikkan? Can we be a good manager but not good doer?
Sorry, can we become a good manager?
But not the doer lah. Maksudnya kita
Yes, of course you can.
Boleh.
You can be. I think ini banyak berlaku kalau you tengok the football managers. kebanyakan them, they are not good football players. Kan? Dia not, bukanlah, I kata dia not, ni, maksudnya dia bukanlah superstar dan sebagainya. But they can manage people better because it's a different skill set sebenarnya. Satu skill set of managing, satu skill sets of doing. They're two different skill sets sebenarnya. Faham tak?
Faham. Bila doktor kasih contoh bola sepak tu, okay, I can see clearly.
Ataupun you tengok certain cikgu kan, dia tahu mengajar budak. Dia boleh, okay, you buat ni, you buat ni. Dia can motivate people dan sebagainya. Tapi budak kadang-kadang mungkin dapat 10A. Tapi bila you tanya cikgu, cikgu dulu you dapat 10A kan? Cikgu cakap, saya tak dapat 10A. Betul tak? Faham tak?
Betul. Faham.
They can manage people, but they not necessarily a good doer. Yang student dia pula, dia tak boleh mengajar budak. Dia tak boleh mengajar orang lain. Tapi dia pandai dengan apa yang dia buat. Itu yang dia boleh dapat 10A, for example.
Understand.
So, kalau you kata they are also a good doer and they are also good managers, mungkin yes, it can happen. But kalau dalam football, rarely happen. So, kalau kata macam Messi is the best player ataupun Ronaldo is the best player, and you saying that the manager is actually better than them. Okay kan? Tak semestinya kan? Betul kan? Okay. Ada anybody like to ask any other questions? Ada? Tak ada? Okay, kalau tak ada, sekarang ni dah dekat 10:30. So maybe we can take a break for about 15 minutes, about 10:45. Yeah, break.
Okay, bro.
Okay,
Alright, so I see you later.
Okay, dah.
Okay, bye. Okay, is it hello? Boleh dengar ke?
Boleh,
Ya,
dah.
Okay, so we talk about that. Yang pasal career track, we talk about the importance of informing you punya staff so that they have a very clear idea that the organization wants them to be part of the family in the dalam masa yang lama, and there is a proper career for them. That's why you see some organization they send dia punya staff for training, for career development punya in order to get new competencies dan sebagainya kan. You see some organization have this proper planning about career. Then we also talk a little bit about diversity. Kita dah cover dalam case David for example. Kenapa? Why diversity is important? Diversity ni actually dalam David's case covered about multi cultural punya diversity. Dalam organizations, you can have that, and then you can have other diversity. For example, in terms of races, in terms of gender, for example. Kan? Sometimes when you look at certain organization, they are monopolized by a certain race sahaja, for example. Ataupun semuanya daripada one race sahaja. Okay. Ada yang organisation pula dia tak nak macam tu. They want to be seen, they cover everything. Dia tak nak ada race bias, for example. Right? So there might be a certain strategy for that because they want to be appeal to everybody, for example, to all races, for example. Right? Macam kita tengok what David was trying to do. He wanted to have people from multi-racial cultural because his idea is that when he plans to go to a particular country, then there is a rep from that particular country yang bekerja dalam organisation. SSE, for example. And then it is also a good reflection that they are a multicultural punya team. So that they look appeal in a globalization punya era. So there are many rationale behind. Yeah. Okay, you can read on that about diversity. You can also talk about gender diversity. Like now today, if you talk about football, for example, in the past when you talk about football, generally semua everybody, I mean the players have to be man kan, for example. But then when you talk about the coaching staff, for example, the medical team, for example, in the past we see all men saja. But now you see sometimes they also have women in the team, for example. Dia punya physio could be women, mungkin dia punya doctor could be women, mungkin dia punya, some other people could be women lah. Some other positions could also, women could also do the job. And even sometimes you see the linesmen actually women. So sometimes people do this for strategic purposes. They want to be seen friendly. They want to be seen more appeal to both genders, for example. Even in Malaysia, I think the target, our government has given a target that 30% of the top positions, the government wants them to be filled by women, for example. To show women participation in senior management. Okay. So we can talk about that. So managing transfers, among other things that you can also cover. Transfers ni is very important, especially when we talk about companies that have regional presence ataupun interstate presence, for example, whereby certain skill sets have to be moved from one state to another state and so on. So if you do not manage transfers very well, then that can create ill feelings among people. They feel that they are purposely being transferred, for example, to make their life difficult. So kita kena manage transfer ni very well. Itu is if it is between state. sometimes transfer is also done between divisions, for example. Right? But then we have to be very careful here. Like I mentioned earlier, when you transfer people from one division to another division, to make sure that those divisions are interrelated, maybe in a similar job families. So dia tak nampak lah macam kena cold storage ke, or you're purposely sent to a particular department where you know you don't have that skill sets. And it will make it very difficult for you to survive. And then you will have this, you will harbor this feeling that as if the organization wants to see you fail. Okay. All right, next, we actually talk about managing retirement. Okay. Now, retirement is also part of an HR. So when retirement ni, kalau dalam a bigger word, it is called separation. Okay, so because separation, there are a few things. Separation is because you want to remove people, and retirement is also separation. That means you are going to be out of service. Okay? Now, retirement ada a few things. Now, of course, when people retire, then before they retire ataupun when they join organization, they need, is there a pension plan? Is there a KWSP? Something like that. So that they can manage their retirement. Satu, when it comes to retirement, then they know what kind of compensation that they get. Satu. From the government, from the organization perspective, those people who retires, they probably have been there for a long time, doing a particular job. They have certain skill set and so on. So sometimes this knowledge resides in the head of this person, dalam kepala dia. Okay? Now, it is important that the organization can actually gather this knowledge. Ini yang kita panggil knowledge management. How many of you have heard about knowledge management? Ada tak? Siti Hanira pernah dengar knowledge management tak?
Tak pernah lah.
Oh, tak pernah dengar. Okay. Ni, Siti Salma pernah dengar knowledge management?
Pernah dengar Doktor?
Tak pernah.
Tak
Pernah ke?
pernah.
Tak pernah.
Tak pernah.
Daniel pernah dengar tak knowledge management?
Saya pernah buat knowledge management system je.
Okay.
Itu
Cerita sikit.
IT punya lah.
Apa dia knowledge management?
Sorry. Yeah, okay. Yang saya pernah buat is knowledge management database, which is any kita dapat if kita ada macam mana nak cakap on IT punya part Kalau IT punya part, kalau ada problem, kita ada knowledge database system solution, which is anyone siapa yang baru masuk kerja, just use the knowledge database tu untuk settlekan that problem lah apa semua.
Okay, maybe okay, this one is ni lah. Okay, I think that the idea is there. Cuma dia put it into that. Okay, tak apa, kita try seorang lagi. Farhan, boleh try tak Farhan?
First time dengar, Prof.
First time dengar. Okay, Amira? Nur Amira Najwa?
Tak pernah dengar.
Tak pernah dengar. Farhana? Farhana pernah dengar tak knowledge management?
Pernah, Prof.
Pernah? Boleh explain?
Tak pernah, Prof.
Tak pernah. Gui Pochen? Pernah dengar tak?
I never heard it before.
Never heard of it before. Yohanis? Yohanis ada? Okay. Pernah dengar tak knowledge management?
Pernah dengar tapi tak pernah lah buat benda tu.
Tak pernah buat benda tu.
Macam knowledge transfer apa semua tu kan.
Ya. Punita?
Pernah praktis lah.
Tak pernah praktis. Okay. Punita?
Hai Prof.
Hai.
Okay, tak pernah dengar knowledge management, but ada knowledge management system kat office yang kita orang sharing file macam akta-akta semua kita dump in that system so that anyone can access from anywhere.
Okay. Idea dia sama lebih kurang macam Daniel cakap tadi lah. Lebih
Yes,
kurang lah. Dia letak dalam sistem. Okay. Cik Rozihan? Ada.
Cik Rozihan dia tak.
Pasal knowledge management apa?
Knowledge management. Do you want to share with us?
Saya
What do you
menalu Prof
understand?
sikit, Prof.
Okay.
Okay, well, I think knowledge management is about process of macam modern day librarian kot for organisation. Tapi kalau function knowledge manager ni sekarang dah evolve sikit. I think apart from managing the resources for knowledge for the organisation, they also some knowledge managers plan for knowledge training, and but I'm not sure how many knowledge managers macam tu kot. But resources of the organisation lah, the knowledge resources organization.
Yes, correct lah. Tadi tu yang dua orang tadi tu dia explain daripada segi sistem, ya. So, but basically what happened is that you are managing the knowledge. So dalam kes ni, when people are retiring, they probably have been doing that particular job for a long period of time. So, masa dia buat kerja tu, dia ada experience, ya. Mungkin dia tahu macam mana nak menyelesaikan satu masalah dan sebagainya. Now, those experience tu are very expensive because you acquire them throughout, say, 30 years, for example. Kan? So, when they are leaving, they bring with them that knowledge. So, bila dia retire, habislah. So, organisation tak ada apa-apa. Tak ada apa-apa. Maksudnya, that means organisation, if the organisation face a similar issue, they may try to look at it as if that it's a new thing lah. Padahal sebenarnya, benda tu pernah diselesaikan. Dan ada penyelesaian yang baik, for example. Ya? Tapi sebab dia tak simpan knowledge tu, jadi they look at it as a new thing. So, apa yang dibagi tahu oleh Daniel tadi tu, yang Punita bagi tahu, they have a system. In the system, they put in all those information and people are going to retrieve it. So, dalam kes ni, bila kita cerita pasal knowledge, how do you manage the knowledge? So, sometimes how you do is that you can interview people. How do you do this? Lepas tu you capture all this information, you document it, and then you make it available. So some organization, what they do is that they have like a starter kit lah, ataupun dia panggil toolkit di mana when somebody new comes in, then they expose to these new people. Okay, these are the few things that you need to know. So dalam masa 3 bulan saja, for example, atau 2 bulan, atau some very short period of time, somebody who is new to the organization can learn so many things, as if they have been around for many years. Ini, jadi sometimes bila dia try to solve problem, sebenarnya dia belajar from somebody else punya experience. That is the beauty thing about knowledge management. Yeah? So, today yang apa Punita dengan Daniel bagi tahu tadi, they actually do something like that with similar idea, but they capture it and put it in a system. So bila somebody comes and query lah, make a query, is there a solution for selection of best selection of the best contractor for providing furnitures, office furniture, for example. Dalam tu tiba-tiba keluar tutup. Nanti dia kata, okay, in order to select this, you must make sure that the company has a paid up capital of this much. Lepas tu they must be within X radius from our office, for example. Supaya senang dia nak datang kalau ada masalah dan sebagainya, easy. So those things sebenarnya dah di-capture because somebody has done that job. Okay, that is knowledge. So when you are managing retirement, there are a few things that you need to do. One is to make sure those who retired understand what they are getting, macam mana the process of separation. Lepas tu mesti make sure juga before they leave the organisation, they already transfer the knowledge. Apa yang reside dalam dia ataupun kerja-kerja yang pending semua, they made it very clear. And after that, what is their role after they have left the organisation? Some of these people, when they left the organization, they become an ambassador, for example. Now, I'm sure you have heard, mungkinlah some of you have heard macam perkataan emeritus, Professor Emeritus. Pernah dengar? Pernah dengar tak? Nur Hashimah pernah dengar tak?
Pernah Doktor.
Pernah. So, apa bezanya nama-nama ni, Professor Emeritus dan sebagainya? Sebenarnya, Kalau ikut betul sekarang ni saya tak pastilah, sekarang ni dia dah jadi fashionable. Semua orang nak nama Profesor Emeritus ni. Kalau dulu Profesor Emeritus ni tak ramai orang yang ada. Now, perkataan Profesor Emeritus tu, Emeritus itself tu, sebenarnya refers to somebody who has actually left the organization ataupun dia dah tinggalkan organization, whereby we want to use their good name, for example. And their role is actually to promote us. Sebab tu kita bagi dia Professor Emeritus. Dia sebenarnya professorship dan sebagainya ni, dia bila orang retire, dia dah tak bawa dah kerja. Yang dia ada doktor saja, dia tak ada profesor. Profesor tu is jawatan yang diberi oleh organisasi. So, in order for them to carry title for the rest of their life, dia kena ada emeritus. Emeritus tu membolehkan dia pakai itu sampai bila-bila. Okay? So, it shows that inilah macam mana you want to manage retirement. In this case lah. In some other cases, maybe different profession have a different way of managing people who retired, making sure that their knowledge are still shared within the organization. For example, dia mesti ada strategies. But basically, that is what managing retirement is all about. Okay? And kita tengok macam mana kalau separation tu is due to termination, for example. Based on dismissal, kita kena tengok what grounds. So dalam HR pun kita actually manage those issues. Okay? Ini I just nak bagi tahu je lah, explain secara general sajalah. These things dalam HR pun they do this. Managing dismissal. So ground for dismissal ni ada banyak benda, termasuklah performance satisfaction, performance punya issue, misconduct at workplace, lack of qualification to do a particular job. Jadi saya bila after some time, bila you are acquired to do a certain skill dan sebagainya, tapi you tak dapat juga. Lepas tu you tak dapat that qualification. So that means you have to be terminated from the job. For example, so you datang tu, dia kata okay, you kena pergi training. So we give you 3 months to do the training. Okay, buat. Lepas tu katakan you fail. Dia kata okay, we give you another 3 months. After 3 months, you must have this certification. Kalau tidak, if you don't have this certification, we cannot employ you because the job requires somebody yang ada certification. Change of requirement in the job pun ada satu-satu. Mungkin, like for example, when I was in Saudi Arabia, at that time, they want people from other parts of the world to join their workforce. After some time, a few years ago, they started to have this Saudization. That means banyak kerja-kerja ni boleh dibuat oleh orang Saudi, for example. Means now there is a change in requirement. So for a certain position, dia kata, oh, we cannot allow people from other countries to perform this. Itu yang dikatakan change of requirement for the jobs. Okay, nombor 5, insubordination. Insubordination ni maknanya you somehow sabotage. You punya colleague, for example. You sabotage your management team, for example. Itu insult. These are some of the areas that actually can lead to dismissal. Okay? Mungkin ada banyak lagi areas yang lain lah that you can think of. And we talk about a lot of these things. Ini you boleh tengok sendiri lah, some policies dan sebagainya ni, some discussion ni. Macam mana nak lay off people, dan ini I think you can read by yourself. Ini yang actually the earlier part ni sebenarnya lebih kepada apakah benda-benda lain yang ada dalam HR. Okay? Jadi after I've gone through, because I nak cover yang dekat bawah-bawah ni, which are more important. Nanti we can discuss, nanti I can tell you for week 6 apa yang nak cover. Okay? Towards the end ni job related ni semua kita ada discuss dah hari tu, compensation. But what is more important is actually sampai dekat level ni, talent management. This is the part yang sebenarnya penting. Okay? Now talent management is about managing talents. So in order for you to manage talents, you must have a plan. You must have a proper plan. macam mana you nak manage talent. Talent ni banyak benda that you have to look into, not just a plan for them, they must be communicated to them. Okay? Then it must be tangible as such that they also believe that their talents are being managed. That means appreciation, maybe they can see there is a proper training, they can see that, that it is clearly articulated to them that what they need to do and what are the phases that they have to go through in order for them to climb the ladder. And then there are supporting mechanism to help them to reach to a particular skill set. Itu semua benda-benda yang ada dalam talent management. That is why you need to have a proper planning dalam talent management. And of course, when you manage talent, you must also, one thing that you must also not forget is about the salary structure. Now, you could have a good talent, but then your salary structure may not be competitive. That can be very difficult for you to hold your talent, to keep intact your talent, because your talent might get very excited. They may want to join other organizations that can pay better salary as well. So when you talk about talent management, you must also talk about the remuneration part. Okay, so you must make sure that your organization have a very competitive remuneration package lah. This is to ensure that you can safeguard your talents. Okay, ada apa-apa nak tanya tak about this thing? About talent management.
Doktor?
Yeah.
Talent management ada apa-apa kaitan dengan what they call knowledge management tadi?
Okay, knowledge management is about managing the knowledge. Yeah, they can, actually anything you want to do, there is always a kaitan. Kan, contohnya, I can create the linkage between knowledge management and talent management. Now, what is talent? Talent is, you talk about human being, right? You want to manage that talent. You want to equip that talent with knowledge. So they are going to be they are going to be made ready from one stage to another stage. So, for example, when they first come in, you identify that, okay, these are my talents. I recruit them because I want to have plans with them. So they come in today as an entry level. Within 5 years, they're going to be manager. Within 10 years, we want to make them as a director. We have proper training along the way. Okay. So the first day they datang, I give them this knowledge management punya tool. Whereby I said, you know what, you're a talented person. I'm going to let you play around with this knowledge management system so that we expect, see, in 2 months, you will get up to this level. You are well versed on doing certain things dan sebagainya. These are the technical skill sets that you will gain by learning from this knowledge management tool. Okay, so dia kata, okay, you baca yang ini saja. So after 5 years, dia cakap tadi, okay, you're going to be promoted into manager. Maybe at that time they will open the knowledge management again, but this time they are going to look into different aspect pula. Dia akan tengok macam mana how to manage how to communicate well with your subordinates, for example. So this guy yang talent ni, dia akan belajar melalui the knowledge management punya system tu on how to gain that competence. Okay, that's why I said benda ni you boleh relate actually. Okay. Alright,
so boleh bagi another angle juga. What I saw in the past, my my knowledge manager, dia rajin organize sharing sessions between departments.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so that the talent gets a bigger overview.
Yes, correct. Correct. Especially macam even at my workplace now, every Friday we have a knowledge sharing session whereby the pegawai lah, I mean the 41 and above, will have to pick a topic based on their experience lah. Usually they will talk about whatever that they have done in the past, and then they will take a particular issue ataupun similar issues that they face, and then how they solve this issue lah. So then yang ramai yang datang tu, they can learn from the experience of the employees lah. So tajuk yang saya bagi tu bebas. Tak kisahlah apa you nak explain, you want to share, you can share. Sama lah. So people can learn through the experience of this person. What to do, what not to do, dan sebagainya. Okay? That is knowledge management lah. So that means kalau you have, macam Cik Rozian kata, you can have all this knowledge session. So your talents can be better informed lah. And they can learn things faster from this knowledge sharing session. You can have that, and then you can also look at the following slides. Tapi basically, it's all about that lah, talent. Yang ni semua some of the write-ups. Nanti later bila you nak buat you punya recommendations ke sebagainya, you can use some of these books and references lah. You boleh tengok ni semua ni. These are some of the examples. Okay. Ini step by step ni semua proses-proses. Step-step ni you tak payah nak bincang ni tau. Dalam you punya 500 words ni, jangan cerita benda ni. You just talk about what talent management is all about. Step-step ni, detail-detail ni semua, kalau you nak gunakan dia, maybe you can guna dalam your research later. Later, yang research paper you. Yang sekarang ni tak perlu. Ni just to understand saja mechanics of it. Okay? Ni you boleh baca sendiri. And then the next thing that is important in this slide, this week punya presentation, it's actually about succession planning. So, any organization, dia mesti ada continuity in the management. Okay, for example, the director sekarang semua dah 50 lebih, dekat 60 tahun dah. So, once they start living in 2-3 years time, do we have the next layer that can actually become the continuity lah in the senior management team? Itu ya, that the importance of having succession planning. You identify the right talents, you give them the right exposures, so that they can be part of the senior management team when the times arrives. Okay? So you can plan properly what to do, how to do it, and what are the steps that involved. Mungkin ada policy that actually safeguard whatever you are doing. That's fine. Continuity. Ada tak apa-apa soalan nak tanya pasal succession planning? Anybody has any question to ask so far?
Succession, Doctor.
Yeah.
If it's well planned, I think okay. If they did not plan in advance, then they have to sort of fill up the gap with somebody who not qualified. This happens mostly the government sector.
Dia mungkin juga dia jadi kadang-kadang sebab people pass away, kan? Tak sempat, kan? Itu yang kadang-kadang ada emergency succession planning. Emergency tiba-tiba ada je. So macam mana nak buat benda? So sometimes you have to, macam tadi you kata tadi, okay, maybe you terpaksa ambil yang somebody yang mungkin tak qualified. Okay, but that is the best person that you can get. Other than that, you might want to hire somebody from outside. So you may say that if I'm going to hire somebody from outside, maybe this is going to be very expensive, for example. Jadi macam mana I nak solvekan my problem? Jadi that's why we have this succession planning, supaya kita plan dan we can bring the people from the ground. Bukan saja it will save some cost, but also the person can understand better about the organization. Rather than we bring from somebody from outside, mungkin ada problem pula nak nak cope dengan the culture of organization as well. So there are two types of succession planning: emergency succession planning dan juga planned succession planning. Sorry, somebody wanted to say something tadi, kan?
Ya, saya Doktor nak tanya. Succession plan ni ada kaitan juga ke dengan knowledge management? Sebab yang saya boleh relate lah, what I can see here, katakan macam plan succession planning is if you document everything correctly and you store all the knowledge and manage it properly, so disseminating knowledge for successor should be
easier.
Easier lah, correct?
Ya, betul. Dia memang ada. Dia sebenarnya benda ni semua
interconnecting.
Yes. So the whole idea, macam saya kata tadi, now you can see, sebenarnya benda ni semua interconnected. Sama juga dengan week 1 dengan week 2. That's why bila kita discuss, those things tu give you some ideas. Tapi bila you menjawab, you kena menunjukkan they are interconnected. Macam mana you want to cover week 1 dengan week 2 tu into 500 words. Dan dia tidak nampak sebenarnya dia are so isolated. That's the whole idea. The 500 words tu sebenarnya summary. So summary ni dia kena, bila orang baca dia boleh faham. The only way you can do that is to understand what you have covered the first 2 weeks tu, in that 2 weeks tu, and then summarize the idea dalam bentuk cerita yang coherent. Bukan dia disjointed punya cerita. Satu line pasal ni, satu line pasal itu bukan. Itu bukan the purpose of that exercise. Okay? Okay, Okay, so this is emergency succession planning. Details the step and organization will take if a critical person's department unexpected due to an unintended illness, accidents, or death. So you kena buat. You must have some guidelines on how it is activated. Tiba-tiba ada bos kira mati ke dekat. The accident. Macam mana kita tiba-tiba nak mengangkat satu orang? There must be a clear policy. Kita kena bagi tahu. Ini ada step-step timbuh lah. Macam for example dulu. Kalau kita tengok bila siapa tu biasanya kata-kata dia kata okay, we have a president. Presiden kita dah nak cecah umur 60 tahun. So the president is going to leave soon. So who's next in line? Katakan, yes, we have somebody at the age of 50 years old. So this is the guy that we have been giving a lot of exposure. Sekali tiba-tiba kawan yang umur 50 tahun tu yang mati. Dan pass away, for example. Lama. Sekarang kita dah tak ada candidate dah. Then kita terpaksa find the next level. And in the next level, for example, yes, we have somebody, but then he has been trained, but he's in the succession planning, not to become the president, to become the deputy president. Punya satu step lagi bawah. Tapi sekarang ni dia terpaksa main atas. So macam mana kita nak memastikan over a short period of time, the person can get the right experience. So dalam kes ini sama juga. Dia boleh guna knowledge management. Mungkin dia boleh guna mentorship. Kan? Because it's such in a hurry dan sebagainya. So there's a lot of other mechanism that can be put in place to assist this emergency successor ni to assume that position yang vacant tu lah. Okay. Ada soalan nak tanya? Atia nak tanya apa-apa ke?
Doctor?
Yeah.
I think the succession, like for example, the deputy side level, that level, they will, do you think normally they'll have a group of people who can move to the next level?
Possible they can have a group of people. Mungkin even for the president tu, mungkin have a group of people juga. Tapi dia probably identify, okay, this is probably the most senior lah yang mungkin akan dapat dan sebagainya lah. Usually it's good to have a group of people. Cumanya jangan group ni terlampau ramai pula. Nanti many of them become frustrated. Kan, sebab nak dapat seorang aja. What do you think, Syarif?
Okay. But yeah, I agree with you.
So you kena manage benda ni harmoniously lah kan. Jangan terlampau ramai sangat. Nanti ramai yang akan affected and then they become demoralized. Kan?
Mengajuk.
Merajuk. For example, kalau tengok bola sepak pun sama kan. Imagine in one position there are so many good players play. Of course they're not going to be happy. Ataupun you have so many players who are who have a good leadership punya ni. So they are all captain materials. I'm sure many of them are not going to be very happy because captain ni dia punya ego, dia ada ni kan. So can you imagine so many people have different egos and yang very strong egos lah. Kan nanti of course the team will become tak harmoni lah kan. Tak harmoni lah. Okay.
Prof. Doctor, okay.
Yes, please. Syarif, please carry on.
Yeah. I noticed recently there is a new way of promoting. Promoting the character of certain leaders through media. And now social media, they have groups which will support certain deputy leaders to be promoted by social media advertisement. For example, they have videos. I've seen this lately. Those who are very popular in these social media,
Yeah.
they get much more support. Oh, he's doing fine, for example. Do you think this is a false way of promoting people?
I cannot comment so much on that because I think it depends on the strategy of the organization. Kan? I think dia sebenarnya, that's why social media ni can play can be good and can be very harmful. It's just like advertisement, isn't it? Kan? So of course those people who prepare this advertisement, they already study what people like and what people don't like. So it may not necessarily be whatever the information they've given to correct, but what they want to do is to influence the viewer. So memang dia jadi kelam kabut sikit lah bila kita nak tengok benda-benda macam ni, if they are the right strategy, not the right strategy. Okay, I'm sorry I cannot be more helpful in that thing lah, Syaril.
I agree.
Ada lagi soalan lagi? Apa lagi? Ada soalan apa-apa yang lain?
Prof.
Ya.
Ya, Assalamualaikum Prof.
Ya. Salam.
Untuk ada nak tanya satu soalan lah.
Ya, siapa ni?
Kalimi.
Kalimi, yes.
Nak tanya satu soalan, macam contoh untuk adakah ni macam termasuk dalam succession plan?
Okay,
seandainya kita buat interview, calon nombor 1 berjaya dan calon 2 adalah calon simpanan.
Okay.
Then seandainya ada managers yang meninggal ke ataupun berhenti ke, dia terus dilantik sebagai managers calon simpanan tu.
Bukan. Dia bukan. Ini bukan succession planning. Succession planning ni dia sebenarnya you identify the person, tapi dia mesti ada program juga. Dia bukan kata I identify saja. Faham tak? Macam you kan, katakanlah you director, katakan you dah nak pension. So kita dah tahu dah siapa successor you. Successor you mungkin A and B, ada 2 orang potential. At the same time, these people are being made ready to assume your position. Dia dah pergi training, dia dah pergi tu dan sebagainya. So bila you pension, orang tu boleh naik. Dia bukan kata kita identify saja tapi tak buat apa-apa. Itu bukan succession planning. Okay? Clear tak?
Clear. Thank you.
So dalam kes ni, you tak boleh katakan, okay, I ada 2 candidate I interview, seorang I ambil, seorang lagi I tak ambil. Jadi kalau apa-apa terjadi, dia ni jadi succession. No, bukan. Itu bukan. Itu orang luar, dia tak ada kena mengenai dengan sistem kita, so dia pun tak tahu apa kita buat. Okay? Alright. So kita ada, now is about 11:23. So I want to quickly finish this part so that you know what to write in section 6 untuk minggu ke-6. Then after that, we're going to discuss about module critics. Okay? Okay, boleh? Ada apa-apa lagi soalan nak tanya tak? Pasal this thing. Amira, ada apa-apa nak tanya, Amira? Nur Amira Najwa, ada?
Ya, Prof, ada.
Tak ada, okay. Alright, kalau tak ada, ni siapa lagi nak tanya ni? Farhana ada nak tanya apa-apa ke? Tak ada. Farhana ada nak tanya apa-apa, Farhana?
Prof,
Ya.
last kan hari ni?
Ya, last class. Ya.
Okay, how about the pemarkahan, Prof? Macam sekarang ni kan kita ada Coursera, and then ada Europe task dengan Prof punya midterm dengan final. So macam mana dengan pemarkahan ni, Prof?
Jangan worry dulu sekarang. Jangan worry dulu buat pemarkahan. Good assessment first, okay? Jangan worry dulu.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That is the last thing to do. Okay, because nanti once I set the final exam questions, actually sebenarnya saya punya idea ni is before you go to the final exam ni, sebenarnya bekas dia semua dah okay dah. Right? So that's why I want to make sure that you my worry sebenarnya lah orang yang tak datang kelas ni. Sebenarnya itu yang saya sangat worry. Because if you look at the task, if you do not attend to the class, then dia punya jawapan tu akan menyimpang sangatlah jauhnya. Itu yang saya sangat worry sebenarnya. Okay? So tak apa, just buat dulu, nanti kita we'll see how we manage with the marks later on. Okay? Ada tak lagi soalan lain yang berkenaan dengan ni topik ni dulu? Ada apa-apa lagi soalan? Katia ke?
Prof, sorry.
Sorry, tak dengar lah. Tak clear dia.
Sorry, Prof.
Ya, ya.
Just nak confirm. Saya, macam tadi Prof tanya pasal management, knowledge management system kan?
Ya, ya, ya.
Okay, saya nak tanya, betul tak apa yang saya pernah buat ni adalah knowledge management system? Sebelum ni, bos pernah suruh saya buat satu SOP tentang apa yang saya buat seharian lah, based on experience and based on normal practice. And then dia suruh dokumentkan benda tu sebagai SOP and then minta present setiap kali meeting lah. So dia ada macam turn lah every month tu. So adakah itu dipanggil knowledge management system?
Okay, dia sebenarnya macam ni. Definition yang lebih bagus kita nak guna pasal knowledge management is the capturing of tacit knowledge. Tacit ni benda yang ada di kepala. Faham tak? Bukan yang tadi yang you tunjuk tu documentation. Documentation yang mungkin hari itu ada orang pakai, lepas tu tak pakai. Sekarang ni kita nak dokumentkan dia saja untuk jadikan polisi, for example. Yang itu dia sebenarnya bukan sangat, kalau you nak gunakan perkataan knowledge management tu, dia terlampau loose sangat sebenarnya. Because everything is knowledge. Everything is knowledge. Tetapi knowledge management ni lebih kepada tacit knowledge. That means experience. Orang yang experience dia lama dan sebagainya, di mana orang lain sebenarnya tak ada that experience. Susah nak dapat that experience. Jadi oleh itu, kita nak capture tacit knowledge tu. Tacit ni knowledge yang tidak tertulis. Jadi sekarang ni kita nak bukukan benda yang tak bertulis tu supaya dia boleh di-sharekan kepada orang-orang. Itu sebenarnya maksud yang lebih tepat lah. Tapi saya faham apa awak cakap ni. Sebab semua benda knowledge. Jadi boleh tak kita masukkan semua benda knowledge tu dalam satu database. Jadi kalau you nak gunakan gitu, boleh. Itu yang orang kata knowledge management system. Saya punya perkataan tadi, apa tu knowledge management? Saya berkata, apa tu knowledge management system? Knowledge management ni lebih kepada capturing of tacit knowledge. The knowledge that resides in somebody's brain dan sebagainya. Macam mana kita nak bring it out supaya kita boleh capture dan kita boleh share dengan orang. Lalu reference dia adalah experience. Okay? Boleh faham? Okay. Ada lagi siapa-siapa nak tanya? Kalau tak ada, okay. Kalau tak ada, this is how you're gonna write your week 6. Okay, week 6 is about managing talents and how these talents can then become the successor of current management. Okay? In doing so, you need to manage their career so that they are well versed about the opportunities in their organizations and how they can climb up the ladder. So you cerita, you punya angle tu mestilah sekitar talents, how they become succession planning, and how to make sure that they remain in the system. Termasuklah bagi tahu, termasuklah dia punya gaji competitiveness dia, termasuklah training, mentorship dan sebagainya. Yang you boleh cerita. Okay, so that is the whole idea. Make sure that you blend the idea of talent, succession, and juga the micro part, MICRO, micro yang tadi tu makro, Micro part tu is the career management. You
Oh,
cerita
the
pasal
career management can be considered as a retention ke tak?
ya, you kena nak ada retention lah. Sebab kalau tak ada retention, macam mana you nak ada succession planning? Boleh? Okay, tadi siapa tanya tu? Saya tak nampak. Bila kita main slide ni, tak nampak siapa cakap.
Hit Zir.
Okay, Zir. Boleh Zir?
Boleh tak?
Okay, so clear? Chapter 5, week 5 is about the importance of identifying the right problem statement so that you can angle the discussion into identifying potential root causes. Based on the root causes identified, you can perform analysis. Based on those analysis, about the relevant recommendations, then finally some conclusion can be. So itulah cerita dia lebih kurang lah dalam that thought process. And week 6, how is that then relate? So you boleh kata, okay, based on this thought process, so kita boleh relatekan the angle into managing talents. Kan? So you boleh kata the scarcities in having the great managers ke apa, because companies are not managing their talents very well. This happen because they don't have succession planning. How can they have succession planning when the strategy is not right about remuneration, retention plan, there's no proper career track, there's no proper job families, there is no competitive salary packages, communication is very poor in organization, people are not motivated because they do not know whether they even have a future in the organization. So you boleh anglekan discussion dalam bentuk macam tu. Dan habis, you boleh relatekan week 5 and week 6 together. Okay, is that clear?
Yep, Doc.
Clear? Clear? Inzai clear?
Yep.
Alright, Cik Rosihan clear ke?
Sir,
Siapa cakap tu?
Amira,
Amira, Amira. Please.
can you repeat again the summary of week 6 yang tadi yang tu I nak tulis?
The summary week 6 is about talent management, succession planning, and also career. Managing career. Dia sebenarnya managing career ni is the micro, M-I-C-R-O. Micro dia maksudnya the processes dia. Yang tadi tu talent management and succession planning tu is the macro, the bigger picture. Jadi you combine the bigger picture together, talent dan juga succession planning sebenarnya hand in hand. Kalau you tengok orang kata talent management, dia mesti ada succession planning. Dia takkan ada talent management without succession planning lah. I mean, dia macam tak lengkap lah. Kan? Dan career management ni is actually the processes dalam tu yang you kena manage. Yang tu yang cakap tadi, salary lah, communication, job families, career track dan sebagainya lah. Benda-benda yang making sure that the talents feel that they are well informed about how they are going to become, how they can climb the ladder in the organization.
Doc, question Doc. Kalau you buat outsourcing, consider as talent juga?
Okay. Outsourcing ni, kita hari tu kita dah cakap dalam kelas yang kedua, macam mana kita nak source, betul ni kita nak dapat talent. Satu, kita kata kita train. Satu lagi, kita kata kita outsource. Kan? Betul kan? Okay. Now, talent can come from inside and also outside. Kalau kita ambil orang kat luar, apa kita nak buat? What is the expectation? Kadang-kadang the expectation is plug and play. It means when I hire you from day one, I expect you to perform already. Ada certain position yang you tahu memang tak boleh. Katakan kalau at Petronas, for example, I think they still have a policy where when you join them, you have to go to their punya training center. Nak tahu culture of Petronas. So apa-apa pun you can spend time 2 minggu kat situ, for example. I think some other organisation pun sama. Macam CIMB. I was told by one of my student, dia nak bawa kerja dekat CIMB yang dekat Kampung Tungku punya tu, yang ada Kenny Hills tu, yang dekat situ tu. Dia jaga kat situ yang dia kata, I have to spend about a month dekat training center. Say, oh, what did you do there? Oh, I see so many different people yang baru join. And then we are given trainings on this to understand better about ni. After that, we be sent to a particular tempat lah. So that we already understood the products dan sebagainya. Okay. Itu pun ada juga. So, sebenarnya is about talent. And then how do you want to manage the talent? So, you can take people from outside. But you may also need to train them so that they can get to a certain level ataupun certain understanding about how the organization works. So what is very important is that bila orang masuk je dia kena boleh bekerja dengan orang lain dalam team yang sama, the internal equities tu. Kan? Kita jarang tengok kata orang main bola, semalam transfer, hari ni dia datang dia turun main, jarang. Biasanya dia orang ni akan pergi training dulu, get to know dia punya other teammates dan sebagainya, kan? Betul tak? Betul tak? Am I right?
Betul, Dok.
Walaupun dia talent katakan. Tapi dia mesti juga akan go through some familiarization punya proses, kan? Betul kan?
Yep.
So that is also happening at the workplace lah. Jarang ada orang-orang yang dia terus masuk, lepas tu terus jalan. Dia biasa dia ada familiarization juga. Okay, I hope that answers dia tu. So clear ke? Atira, clear ke? Boleh
Okay, Doktor.
Okay, so we have another slightly more than 20 minutes. So I want to discuss about the model critic because that is about 1,000 words. So this is the one yang I got tricky. This is the one that you can write anything based on the 6 weeks, tetapi dia terpaksa include everything jugalah juga. Maknanya janganlah pick something yang keluar daripada topik macam ni. So you may say that in practice, for example, in practice, for example, talent management has been seen as something that is very common in today's world where talents are scarce. Therefore, companies are paying are giving a lot of attention, blah 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 blah, on talent because they can get, if they can manage talents, then they can also protect the culture that they have, continuity dan sebagainya. Okay, you can talk about that. You can talk about a lot of other things, tapi you kena blendkan dia. Apa week 1, week 2, week 3 cover. Sebenarnya, apa yang kita nak belajar dekat dalam course ni is about human resource management. As such that human resource, dia ada macam mana dia cater untuk achieve the visions. At the same time, what are the operational aspect of it lah? Operational tu yang penting yang kita cover is actually talent lah. Talent management lah. Recruitment, leadership, itu benda-benda yang penting dalam. So you can actually discuss all these sort of things. So if I were you, I have about 1,000 words to do this thing. Maybe what I can do is that I look into 5 things that I actually studied in this course. And then I discuss about it. When I say discuss, means please talk about from 2 sides of the coins. Maknanya you pick one and then you kata, oh, you see this, but then again, this might be the challenges. You buat dalam bentuk macam tu. Lepas tu, okay, the second things that I would like to cover is based on selecting the right candidates. This has become a very expensive process whereby many organizations are finding it difficult to find their own candidates and therefore they hire third parties. This is because third parties may be able to conduct better interviews. At least for screening the preliminary dan sebagainya, because they have they have database questionnaires dan sebagainya, which they may be able to filter the candidates that comes in for the positions, and therefore this will scrutinize lah who are yang baik dan juga baik. So yang baik tu then they can go for next round for interviews whereby they can see the management team where they can have some flexibilities in asking a more unstructured questions lah. boleh cerita macam tu. Tapi you akan ceritalah two sides of the coin. Whatever things yang kita cover, lepas tu you talk about it from two sides of the coin. Maknanya two sides of the coin tu, maybe you want to talk about the challenges for the company tu, macam mana dia nak achieve whatever things that you discuss. Finding the right candidates ke, today what is important, today what is becoming a very critical aspect is that companies needs to measure their performance very effectively. Now, many organizations, for example, they have come up with a performance management. However, they are not able to measure those performances. This is because their KPIs are very big. They are not cascaded properly. And this is done because job descriptions are not properly established, katakan. Contohnya director, dia menggunakan perkataan doers. Therefore, you can see that there is no quality in the demarcation of jobs and authorities. And as a result of that, people get confused. Ataupun inilah, you can discuss on those things lah. Then again, if you want to have this done professionally, you can hire consultants to do the job. However, the pricing, however, it could be very pricey. You cerita lah benda-benda macam tu. Dia ada pro, dia jangan guna pro, perkataan pro and cons jangan guna. Tapi you deliberate the issues and then you discuss it from two sides of it. Okay, is that clear? Ada tak siapa-siapa yang tak clear about the module reflections? Hanif, okay tak? Hanif senyap hari ni?
Okey, Doktor.
Boleh Hanif.
Cumanya yang modul kritik ni kita
tak dengar lah Hanif. Sikit, apa dia?
Cumanya yang daripada modul kritik ni basically kita comment about the content of the course in general lah kan?
Content of apa yang kita dah cover.
Yalah, content of general, bukannya berkaitan dengan apa-apa case study ke apa.
Tak.
In general lah. The concept yang kita dah belajar tu kita discuss in general from the both side of the coin lah.
Tak. Kalau boleh untuk senang punya cerita, maybe you should find 5 themes lah, 5 issues lah. Then you can talk about every one of them tu maybe 200 patah perkataan macam tu lah.
5 issues, 1000 words tu pun macam
jadi senang lah. I think senang. Kalau you letak 10, nanti dia punya discussion tu become very vague. It's easy to find 10. 10 memang senang dia nak dapat. Tapi nanti dia jadi pendek je dia punya discussion. Kita tak nak macam tu. Kita nak you discuss benda tu.
Kalau 5 pun boleh burst yang 1000 punya limit.
Macam mana? Sorry, tak dengar.
I think even with 5 pun boleh burst 1000 word limit.
Ya boleh. Itu you kena pandai macam mana nak play around with the words lah. Kalau nak lebih sikit, it's okay. Boleh je. That's why I said, once you start doing this, you realize that actually lebih susah nak tulis dalam within the number. Lebih senang nak tulis panjang daripada pendek sebenarnya.
Betul.
Especially katakanlah 5, you boleh goreng macam-macam sebenarnya. Kan?
Yes.
Tapi kalau I kata 10, nanti kan tak sempat pula I nak baca kan? Susah pula. Nanti kan you dah short sangat nak menulis kan? Macam-macam benda, you can discuss it from so many different angles. Kita tak nak lagi macam tu kan? At least kita bagi some guidelines lah, lebih kurang 5 ke begitu ke. Step 1 tu mungkin dalam 200 patah perkataan. But it's okay if you want to have a little bit of words exceeding the number tu, it's okay. Tak ada masalah.
Kena be very efficient lah with the words.
Okay. Boleh.
Okay, thank you, Doktor.
Macam kalau kat universiti saya jadi student, biasanya dia bagi 10%. Maknanya 10% atas atau 10% bawah. Dia punya guideline lah, katakan 2,500, dia tambah lagi 250. Boleh lebih kurang lah. Kan? Ataupun 250 kurang daripada 2,500. Contoh.
Plus minus lah.
Plus minus 10% lah. Biasanya dia lebih kurang gitu. Kan ada pula orang yang rigid. Betul ke 250 je? What about 280? Tak boleh? Boleh lah. Itu boleh lah. Tapi janganlah kata daripada 2,500 jadi sampai 3,500. Itu tak boleh lah. Dia lebih kurang sekitar 10% tu boleh lah. Okay, ada soalan lagi nak tanya? Yohanis, okey tak Yohanis?
Dalam chat box ada orang tanya, Doktor.
Oh, ada. Oh, sebab saya tengah present ni, saya tak nampak. Okay, let me... ni. Sekejap. Apa dia orang tanya ni? Sekejap, saya baru nak tengok ni. Okay, ni. Okay, sorry. Helmi kata, tacit knowledge experience, okay. Saya kata, faham, proper onboarding of a new recruit. Okay, betul. Topik modul ini free topic, we can choose issue from any week here. Okay. Yes, any week boleh, tapi kalau boleh cuba cover jangan cover satu je topik jadi cover about 5 lah. Sebab kita ada banyak benda yang kita cover kan. So dia nampak lebih menyeluruh lah. Tapi ada somebody dia boleh buat benda ni very elegantly. Makna kata dia akan tengok as a HR in total. Kalau saya akan buat cerita sebagai menyeluruh such that HR is a strategic matter whereby HR needs to be aligned to the strategic direction of the organization. As the organization evolve dan sebagainya, the HR strategy must also complement such transformation. Therefore, it is critical, for example, that the role of HR is seen to be in the mainstream, means understanding the organizations. Therefore, we are able to identify the right candidates by having the right questions. And then once the candidates are on board, there must be a proper knowledge management. You boleh cerita benda tu semua. You boleh cerita, you boleh goreng daripada week 1 sampai week habis pun boleh, tak ada masalah. Ni nak menunjukkan actually I understood what's going on. Sebab apa? Sebenarnya bila you dah prepare daripada week 1 sampai week 6 tu, sebenarnya you dah cover semua benda dah. Sekarang ni, you sebenarnya menggunakan apa benda yang you dah belajar dan section yang sebelum tu you buat, sekarang ni you are able to describe it in more details. Ya? Boleh? Boleh? Okay, faham Okay. One model critics can be at least very teacher throughout the okay, boleh faham Okay. Right, ada apa lagi soalan nak tanya? Umur Atira nak tanya apa-apa? Okay, faham. Okay. Umur Atira nak tanya apa-apa?
Okey, cuma untuk model kritik ni sebenarnya kita nak lebih fokuskan pada kita punya opinions ke ataupun macam recommendation ke? Macam tu.
Okay, sebenarnya jangan bagi opinion as in like opinion tau. Because opinion kalau you bagi dia dah jadi tak betul lah. Sebab kalau kita belajar yang tadi tu yang kita cakap pasal case study David tu kan, I beritahu recommendation must come up with the relevant literature reviews. So bila you nak discuss, you can discuss two sides of the coins. Tetapi benda tu mestilah benda yang valid, bukan terlampau subjektif. Maknanya memang ada orang bercerita pasal benda tu. Okay?
Okay, faham. Thank you, Doktor.
Because kita ni dalam universiti, dia mesti ada references. Dia bukan kata free writing. Dia kalau free writing ni, dia bukan academic writing. Kalau bukan academic writing, dia tak boleh bagi certificate dari academic. Betul tak? Okay? Alright, ada siapa yang nak tanya lagi? Farhan nak tanya apa-apa?
Tak ada lah, Prof.
Okay, clear ke Farhan?
Clear. Alright.
Karimi, okay tak Karimi? Karimi okay dia?
Okay, Prof.
Tak ada masalah. Okay. Yohanis okay tak Yohanis? Is it clear now?
Prof.
Is it better?
Prof.
Is it better? Okay. Right, Okay. Bagus. Tengok siapa lagi ada nak apa-apa nak tanya. Syaril, okey Syaril?
Sir, ada soalan kat checkbox.
Okay, sir.
Evaluate the strength and weaknesses. Sorry, saya tak faham soalan ni. Evaluate the strength and weaknesses of apa ni sebenarnya, Carol?
Tentang modul kritik ni betul.
Apa dia tentang modul?
Modul kritik ni kita kena cerita tentang strength and weakness ke? Dalam
Bukan. Okey, saya faham soalan awak sekarang. Bukan. Dia bukan cerita strength and weakness. Jangan even guna perkataan strength dan weakness tu. Jangan cerita. You kena tunjuk yang you faham what's going on in this dalam modul ni. Lepas tu, you hanya cerita actually in real life, if you were to do this, there could also be other factors that may be challenges lah in executing this. Okay? I can give you example. For example, you kata, talent management is very good. Yeah, because then we can establish the talents, identify the talents, we can give a proper training, blah, 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 blah. However, in real life, these people may not want to stay in the organization because the study have shown that people tend to be attracted to higher salary. Saya tak tahu, itu boleh proof ketika dalam juga study itu memang employees are attracted to higher salary. And in this case, if the organization cannot remunerate their staff competitively, chances are their staff might join organization that can pay high, can give higher salary, for example. This is counterproductive to the talent management program. You cerita macam tu lah. Jangan cerita strength and weaknesses, but cerita dalam bentuk discussion. Discussion. Lepas tu Farhan tanya, Prof, the minimum words is around 4,000, is it? Yeah. Dia sebenarnya, kalau kita tengok tadi kan, macam Cik Rozihan cakap tu, kat atas tu ada kat, mana tadi dia share. Introduction is about 500 words. Week 1, 500. Week 3, 4, 500. Dah 1,500. Lepas tu week 4, 1,500. 1,500. Dah jadi 2,000 words kat situ kan. 2,000 words. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2,000 words. Modul kritik is about 1,000 words. Conclusion is about 500 words. Lebih kurang dalam 3,500 lah. Tapi I think easily you can reach up to 4,000. Lebih kurang dalam macam tu lah. Okay. Alright, ada siapa-siapa lagi nak tanya soalan? Hanira? Okay, ada satu mesej baru daripada siapa ni? Tak, kita buat dalam bentuk words. Letak dalam words bukan dalam PowerPoint, dalam words.
Doktor.
Ya, Daniel.
Nak summarizekan balik, actually case study ni, kita decide kita nak title topik apa. And then kita faham problem statement apa yang kita nak. Dan senang kita go sampai habis, betul? Tapi
jangan dalam finding tu jangan banyak sangat dia punya ni dapat dalam 3 poin ke 4 poin dah. Jangan semua benda masuk dalam tu, jadi terlalu banyak sangat, dan you kena buat analisis pun banyak.
Problem statement kita kena spesifik lah, betul?
Spesifik. Cari benda yang senang aja. Jangan cari benda yang susah. Dan cari dalam case tadi tu ada dalam 3-4 benda yang boleh discuss. Dah.
Banyak. Okey. Contohnya saya ambil retention. Dan cukup lah.
Lepas tu cari benda yang kena guna dengan retention dalam tu.
Ya, banyak source lah dekat mana-mana kan.
Tak, first kali kena cari dalam study David tu.
Ya, betul.
Sebab ni yang David is a specific case study.
David is macam the idea lah.
David tu is a specific, sorry, you tanya ni assignment yang mana ni? Portfolio
yang kita nak buat ni lah. Yang 4,000 words ni.
Okay, yang ini jangan guna cerita David.
Ya, betul, jangan guna.
Idea. Guna the idea.
Guna the idea saja untuk kita
jangan
buat
cerita
case study ni. Yes.
Jangan cerita pasal David. Yang David tu assignment yang lain. Okay, alright.
Seminggu je? Seminggu
Tak, sampai 5 hari bulan.
Okay.
Sampai 5 hari bulan. Dua-dua tu sampai 5 hari bulan. Okay? Yang awal tu ada orang habis ikut dah. Maaf banyak tanya pasal ni. Saya ni student tu tak biasa sangat. Dia panggil je e-portfolio. So kita boleh guna even visual or image. Boleh masuk gambar pun boleh, tak ada masalah. Boleh, nak masuk gambar, nak masuk graf, nak masuk apa tu, chart pun boleh, tak ada masalah. Because you want to say that, you know what, this is the framework. Boleh, tak ada masalah. Kan? Ada orang nak kelentong pula, dia buat macam ni. Dia tulis, lepas tu dia letak dalam gambar. Betul gambar. So dia dah banyak pula perkataan dalam tu dia pun boleh juga. Tak apa, boleh. Kreativiti digalakkan. Okay?
Doktor, bila kena submit?
5. Nanti saya bagi tahu macam mana. 5 hari bulan Januari. Ada dekat 2 minggu kan? 2 minggu lah kan? 2 minggu lebih. Okey? Boleh? Boleh kan? Sebab kita pun dah discuss dah jawapan-jawapan dia kan? Boleh ya? So lepas ni you all boleh discuss sama-sama you all balik. Just to get to make sure that you have the right idea supaya tidak ada tertinggal apa-apa. So, sebab kita tadi beritahu sebenarnya the main thing dalam ni is that I must understand what's happening in those weeks. Only when I understood those things, I can summarize it comprehensively dengan 2 minggu sekali. Itu dia punya task lah sebenarnya. Don't leave this to the end. Sebab sebenarnya benda ni banyak free writing ni sebenarnya. Free writing maknanya bila you start menulis tu you boleh tulis je sebenarnya kalau you faham. Dia menjadi isu kalau you tak faham jadi terlalu banyak sangat benda you nak tulis. Kalau you faham 500 tu cukup. Tapi kalau you tak faham memang banyak benda you nak letak dalam. You agree with me tak, Punita? Punita, are you there?
Yes, Prof.
You agree with me tak? I kata kalau you tak faham memang banyak sangat benda you nak tulis kan?
Agree. Basically, we need to understand and put it in our own wording.
Yes, correct. You kena faham the idea. Then only 500 words become something that is global. Kalau tidak memang tak boleh. Actually bila you duduk, kalau you dah faham apa we want to do, you type 500 kali memang sangat sekejap. Memang sangat sekejap. So kalau you faham the maknanya introduction 6 sentence saja tu. Kan yang I told you, so it's already given. Kan 6 sentence apa tu you nak cover yang ni okay dah given. And then you masukkan apa tu week 1, week 2, week 3 pun free writing. Maknanya 500 kalau saya yang tua ni boleh tulis 700 patah perkataan dalam masa 50 minit kan. I'm sure you can write faster. You can type faster. Kan? So I rasa benda ni memang tak lama lah sebenarnya. You boleh settlekan. I think 2 weeks is more than enough lah. Tapi I sebenarnya suggestion pastikan you faham betul-betul apa yang kita cover dulu. Lepas tu kalau boleh have a separate discussion with your friends to make sure that you have actually covered those aspects. Betul tak benda ni? Betul tak saya faham ni? Betul tak? Then after that you tulis sendiri. Okay? Sekarang masih kena guna turn-in ke? Yeah, I believe you still have to use turn-in. But turn-in ni dia kalau sebenarnya kalau ikut betul lah yang saya faham lah, saya tak tahu kalau ada benda yang lain ke tidak. Dia sebenarnya bila bila MQA nak buat audit nanti, sebenarnya kena di-audit kita. So bila dia nak audit nanti, dia akan tengok skim jawapan student. Bila dia tengok dekat skim jawapan student, you kalau masa admin print, kalau dia tak boleh membuktikan yang those documents tu telah go through turn-in, jadi nanti dia akan jadi masalah. Nanti examiner akan tanya, how do you know that this thing is inilah yang apa tu bukan diceplak lah. Nanti universiti tak boleh jawab. Lepas tu dia minta turn-in tu. Okay? Boleh. Alright ke? Boleh ke? Gui Po Chian, alright ke?
Yeah, okay.
Okay ya. Ada nak tanya apa-apa? Gui?
So far no.
So far no, okay, boleh faham. Ilmi okay, Ilmi?
Ada sikit nak tanya.
Okay.
Saya tanya kalau doktor ada buka peluang, let's say lah kita dah draft whatsoever, boleh ke review dengan doktor sekejap ke, sikit ke?
Saya boleh bagi pendapat lah, tapi saya tak boleh check satu-satu lah. Nanti sekarang ada
Betul.
30 orang hantar sekarang, mati dah saya kan.
Itu yang saya fikir banyak juga nak tanya soalan ni sebab macam membuka gateway lah. Tapi kalau doktor bagi peluang macam tu mungkin better kot.
Generally boleh lah. Tapi saya kata kalau boleh dia macam ni. Kalau boleh, I nak you discuss dengan your friend. Tapi jangan tiru jawapan kawan awak. Itu penting. That is the value of MBA ke punya kelas ni semua. Because you need to work with your friends. Discussion. Discussion. Bukan tiru jawapan dia. That's why what is best sebenarnya, you come up with tentative points. Point. Lepas tu you discuss. What do you think about my point? Because sebenarnya terlampau banyak point kita boleh discuss. Jadi tak payah nak isi semua. Jadi I pilih 3 ni, you pilih 3 yang ni. Dan ada some point tu lebih kurang sama. Okay, no problem. Tapi bila tulis, you tulis ni. I tulis ni.
Okay.
Then you discuss. What do you think of my point? What do you think of the counter argument? Do you think this is acceptable? So you can discuss within your friends dan sebagainya. Believe me, saya bagi tahu awak, bila saya draft benda ni, saya kena ambil kira you ni working ke, tak working ke, ambil masa yang lama dan sebagainya. That's why it's important for you to come to the class so that after this discussion, you sebenarnya sebelum kelas start, you dekat this level, bila habis kelas, you sepatutnya at this level. Maknanya, I want you to feel that actually bila you habis kelas ni sebenarnya banyak benda dah you boleh tulis. At least, you know, for you to start with lah. Sebab saya tak mau, isu dia gini, kalau you give a task that it's about 3 weeks, for example, then people actually taking 3 weeks to do the job, then it will be troublesome for some of you guys yang kerja full time dan sebagainya. Dia memang tak akan dapat that quality yang sebaik budak yang tak bekerja langsung. Sebab budak tak bekerja tu dia ada banyak masa. So saya tak nak bagi that kind of handicap. But many of you people are working. So saya kena bagi satu benda yang practical, yang kita pun dah discuss dia punya potential jawapan. And all you have to do is sit down and start typing. Dan bila you type pun, saya ambil kira supaya benda ni tidaklah terlampau lama. Maknanya if you sit down, kata-kata teruk-teruk pun, okeylah, Sabtu, kata tak bekerja atau satu week, I sit down, over 4 or 5 hours, I dah boleh settle kata-kata. Ataupun 3,500. Ataupun mungkin 4 jam susah, kata 6 jam lah. 3 jam hari Sabtu, 3 jam hari Ahad. Dah boleh settle. Okay, ada lagi soalan? Ada? Carol, ada apa-apa lagi nak tanya, Carol?
Tak ada, doktor.
Okay, Carol, okay. Hashima, Hashima ada apa-apa nak tanya?
Tak ada, okey doktor.
Okey dah Dah clear?
Alright.
Dah clear dah kan? Daniel, ada apa-apa lagi nak tanya, Daniel? Okey, boleh. Boleh Alright lah. Hanif, ada apa-apa nak tanya, Hanif?
Tak ada dah setakat ni.
Okey, Hanif selalunya dia bercakap banyak. Hari ni dia tak berapa cakap sangat. Okey, alright Okey, kalau gitu saya ingat kalau tak ada siapa apa-apa nak tanya, I think you should be okay. Dia sebenarnya saya punya idea lah. Tadi satu soalan yang bagus Farhana tanya. Apakah kita punya carry forward mark dan sebagainya. Sebenarnya carry forward mark ni saya nak double check perlukah saya share ataupun tak perlu saya share sebelum final exam. The reason is because if I share, then it's very difficult for me to play around with the marks in case I need to help you. Ataupun mungkin markah you 1-2 markah nak dapat A ke, ataupun daripada B plus nak dapat A minus, jadi susah. So usually kita akan tengok benda ni dan final exam tu you susah sikit nak tukar markah dia. Yang boleh play around is actually the assignment dan sebagainya. Yang ini boleh. Jadi that's why I said kalau boleh benda tu saya kalau boleh saya tak nak share benda ni, markah tu. Keduanya, if you have done all the job assignments, you should assume that you punya markah mestilah sekitar 80% daripada maksimum markah untuk carry forward. Itulah dia. Lebih kurang kat situ. Dan actually, katakanlah dalam assessment, sebenarnya dalam assessment tu kalau you buat teruk sangat pun sebenarnya boleh dapat. Saya selalu buat gini, katakanlah carry forward markah dia per 60. Jadi student average kata dapat 48. 48 per 60 is actually a B. An A sebab dia 80%. Jadi dalam exam student hanya perlu dapat 65 tolak 48, 17 markah saja. Okay? Jadi sebenarnya student hanya perlu dapat 17 markah per berapa? 30. That means you dalam exam you hanya perlu dapat sedikit saja lebih daripada passing mark, 50 lebih. Dah boleh dapat B dah. Ini kita cerita worst scenario lah. Kita bukan cerita best scenario. So that means in order to pass tu, it's not that difficult sebenarnya. It's not that difficult. Okay. Ada soalan lagi nak tanya? Ada tak ada dalam grup dalam WhatsApp grup pun tak ada, dalam chatting pun tak ada soalan lagi kan? Ya kan? Ada tak ada, itu semua dah jawab Okey. Siti Anira.
Okay, Doctor. Okay, okay. Okay, okay.
Okey Chia Pek Bu. Okey. Hanif.
Okey.
Okey. Umur Atira. Okey.
Okay, Doktor. Nervous nak start je.
Nervous nak start Tak adalah. Tak payah nervous. Okey je tu. Okey. And then Hashima. Okey Hashima.
Okey.
Okey. Ni Yohanis okey. Okey dah?
Kena buat dulu Prof baru tahu okey ke tak.
Okey. Budita okey tak? Boleh
Hopefully boleh Prof.
Boleh. Okey. Cik Rozihan okey Cik Rozihan? Okey kot Boleh Daniel okey?
Okay, Doktor. Format dan konsep tu dah dapat dah.
Okey.
Nak start je lah.
Start. Okey. Hilmi okey tak Hilmi? Nanti should be okey lah
Okay, Prof. Okay.
Boleh
Sorry, malam ni kurang sikit cakap, Prof. Tak sihat sikit.
Oh, bukan sebab pasukan tu kalah
Bukan.
Tu Francis dia dah cakap siang-siang dah. Hari ni kita tak boleh pergilah kelas. Nanti kan kita gaduh orang. Kan? So dia kata, I might as well wait for the football game je kan? Francis kan? Okay. Inze, okay Inze? Boleh ya?
Okey, terima kasih dok atas ilmunya.
Okay, terima kasih. Farhana okay?
Okay, Doktor. Thank you, Doktor.
Okay, Atira okay? Atia okay? Ni Atia binti Yaakob okay kan? Okay. Okay. Gui Pochian okay kan? Tadi dia cakap okay tadi.
Ya, okay.
Okay, Siti Salma okay?
Okay, Doktor.
Alright. Kalimi okay tak Kalimi?
Okay, Prof. Okay.
Farhan okay?
Okay, Prof. Okay.
And Amira, last kali Amira Najwa okay tak?
Okey je Doktor. Doktor terima kasih ajar kita orang. Last class
Okay.
ni.
Dia sebenarnya saya mengajar ni, awak kena faham dia, ikut je peraturan. Ikut je tools je tu, memang confirm dapat markah macam tu. Jangan terlampau innovate sangat. Okay? So, saya dah set soalan-soalan yang ni. Final exam tu saja yang saya mungkin tak boleh discuss dengan you lah kan. Sebab final exam tu 5 hari bulan. Jadi, selepas saya dah sit down dengan dia orang, nanti saya akan share lah dekat WhatsApp group dan sebagainya. Tetapi dia sebenarnya senang je. Kita ni sebenarnya nak tolong student ke kita tak nak tolong student. Kalau tak nak tolong, tanya soalan yang you tak ajar. Kalau nak tolong, tanya soalan yang you ajar. Jadi senang aja. Jadi bila you tengok soalan tu, agak-agaknya dah diajar ke tidak diajar. Itu saja. Jadi kalau dah ajar, maknanya jawapan dia tu mesti ada yang dalam kita discuss. Okay,
Betul.
clear?
Betul.
Siapa cakap tu? Carol lah. Carol punya mic ni dia macam tak berapa clear sangat. Ya,
Sebelum ni diorang kata final exam tak ada, tapi yang ni kita masih panggil dia sebagai final exam ke?
Saya rasa dia panggil final exam, tapi dia macam take home.
Okay.
Tapi dia berbentuk final exam lah. Dia bukan sit-in exam. Saya rasa maksudnya begitulah, Carol lah.
Okay, faham.
Dia panggil final exam as in like that is final exam, but bukan sit-in. Sit-in maknanya you kena datang duduk kat meja bagi 3 jam buat bukan tu. Yang saya difahamkan dia sebenarnya take home final exam. Mungkin tak tahulah dia bagi berapa hari ke apa ke untuk you settlekan lah benda tu. Okay, boleh ya? So, dia the first thing yang awak ada dua yang tu, yang midterm dengan apa tu kan. Jangan risau. Just buat apa yang saya cakap, ikut apa yang saya cakap, then you will think I already have 80% of the job. You kena fikir macam tu. Jangan buat benda yang lain. Saya paling risau ialah if student tak datang dalam kelas, they don't have a good idea. Dia tengok soalan, it can be answered in those ways. Dia kalau tidak ikut apa yang saya cakap ni, dia nanti saya ikut jadi susah. Okay? Alright? Boleh ya? Okay? Okay, I think should be okay lah ya. Alright. So that's it. Kita dah pukul 12 minit. So setiap apa tu kita patut tadi habis pukul 12 kan. So dah lepas pukul 12 minit lepas pun dah. So I wish you all the best. Nanti saya akan bagi tahu you all macam mana you nak submit you punya kerja-kerja tu lah semua. Please make sure that whatever you do, you must submit before 5 hari bulan Januari. Last kali 5 hari bulan Januari lah. That will give you ample of time. Don't spend too much time. Itu pun saya risau juga. Kan you all spend too much time kan. Macam-macam pula you tulis. Don't spend too much time. In fact, just follow what we have discussed in the classes sahaja. That should do the trick. The only thing that you need to do a little bit extra work is to make sure your recommendation mesti menggunakan best practices yang ada dalam literature. Itu pun saya dah ajar. Macam mana nak check, you boleh Google dekat Google Translate. Lepas tu, you tengok dalam keywords dia. Ada tak benda? Kalau ada, baru you tengok. You skim through, okay, siapa yang cakap benda? Even pun, siapa yang cakap tu bukan you tulis apa dia cakap. You ambil idea dia je. Lepas tu you tulis nama orang tu. Kan? Dah senang. Bukan susah sangat pun. Ada dalam 3-4 idea, mungkin dalam 5-6 resources saja you pakai. Kan? Okay ya? Selamat maju jaya.
Okay, Doktor.
Okay, Dok.
Thank you, Dok.
Take care. Semoga kita
Thank you,
berjumpa lagi di lain rancangan.
InsyaAllah.
InsyaAllah.
Majulah semua untuk dapat assignment dengan dapat assignment markah yang tinggi ya.
InsyaAllah.
Thank you so much,
Terima kasih,
Doktor.
Doktor. Terima kasih.
Okay, bye.
Doktor, sampai jumpa. Happy New Year, Doktor.
Okay, Happy New Year. Jangan risau. Make sure. Dia macam ni. Saya ada student ni tanya saya macam ni. Doktor, you bagi assignment 3 minggu. Saya nak tanya. Last day saya kena buat bila? Last day bila saya nak kena buat? Kalau saya tak buat juga ini, saya pun kata berjalik. Kalau kamu buat project paper, last kali kalau 4 hari sebelum submit, kalau kamu tak buat juga, kira halas. Kan? Padahal project paper kita bagi 3 bulan nak buat. Actually buat tu. Apa juga ini. Kalau you tak boleh allocate 6 hours of 3 weeks, then memang susah lah. Dia paling minim, paling ni saya rasa dalam 6-7 jam je dah boleh settle lah. But please understand first. Kalau you tak faham, memang akan mengambil masa. Dan you pun terpaksa menulis lagi. Okay, I rasa ada a few of your friends ni memang I think they already get the ideas. That's why I recommend you all discuss sama you all. Check on the points. 3-4 point apa you nak cerita. Okay? Alright? Okay? Cuba fikir, cikgu ni dia nak bagi markah baik ni, bukan dia nak failkan kita. Okay ya?
Okay, Doktor.
Alright.
Hari tu semua mesti.
Assalamualaikum.
Okay, waalaikumsalam. Good night. Bye. See you next time.
Bye.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum.
Thank you,
Salam.
Doctor.
Bye.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye.
Okay, doctor, thank you very much.
Thanks. Okay,
Assalamualaikum.
bye-bye. Bye.